What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Ponytails Podcast. What? 152? I believe, anyway. Maybe my count's off. I don't know. But if this is number one for you, welcome. If you don't know, what we do here on the show is interview people who sold books door to door with a company called Southwestern Advantage. Now, we're not affiliated with the company in any way at all, but all we have in common is the fact that I myself and every one of our guests, for the most part, sold books door to door for 80 hours a week during their summers in college with no guarantee of any pay. It was a straight up commission, like from Monday through Saturday. Crazy stories that we've had on the show. People come and share all sorts of different things, good, bad, and ugly. And it's been a blast for us to take part in sharing some emotional stories, some inspirational stories, some scary stories, some funny stories with all of our guests. So hope you enjoy. Big shout out to some of our friends here on the show. First off, we're my buddy Will Metscher. Congratulations on the wedding, buddy. Woo woo. He's married, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, ladies and some gentlemen. Welcome and congratulations to Will Metcher. Now, he is a coach with Southwestern Consulting, and what we asked him to do is give us some advice. So, if you're looking to go into coaching and you don't know exactly how to start a consulting business, you're not exactly sure how to do it, or you want to work with them and you're not sure if it's for you, here's the three things to consider. Number one, coaches are still broken. The question will be, can you admit that to yourself? So, that's a good thing to answer perspective there. Number two, you don't have to know everything to be a great coach, just have to actually care, ask good questions, and hold people accountable to doing more. And number three, your clients do not have to be the most driven. Some people are just desperate for a work-life balance and want your help in making that work. So they're not all trying to be like elite salespeople. Maybe they just want something better and you can help. And if you want more information on how to work with Will on that, make sure you guys reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with him. Again, congrats, buddy. Way to go and get married. You did it. 1, 2, 3. How'd you do it? Up next, we want to talk a little bit about Elevate Wellness. If you just got done selling books, especially this is for you. They are now going into the Sizzler Shred. They had 55 people last year, $4,500 in awards given to the top three people. It was crazy. They donated like $1,000 to the service project, and they're doing it again, and they're doing it bigger. They're trying to just increase and have more people participate, so that way the prize money that they give away is even better. So, of course, they also want to donate some more. If you guys want more information on how to get onto that contest before Sizzler, reach out to us. Elevate Wellness is doing a special right now, and they want you to be a part of it. It's such a cool community and such an encouraging place to be a part of for your health. Thank you guys. Love you guys, Seth and Zane. You guys are studs. And then last but not least, I want to give a quick shout out to Cardinal Senior Benefits with my man, Quintin Roberts. Great episode if you haven't heard. Get so much good feedback from him in his episode. And he is giving you advice on getting into insurance sales, whether it's with Cardinal or if you just got into the business. Here is what his thoughts are. Most people entering the insurance focus too much on the contract percentages. To be sure to look for a good culture and for mentors and management that is going to help you and the performance of the group. People fail in the industry because they don't have a good grasp on their money. Most social/relational issues in their life are due to financial struggles, and when you join a job, you should see it as something you marry. Treat it well, and you'll get the returns you need. Thanks for the advice, my friend. Now, I want to introduce our guest for today, Joe, or Jessica Olas, but she likes to go by Joe, so we call her Joe. Not me, not yo in Spanish, Joe. So I'm excited for this. Now, 2 summers with Southwestern is how much she could endure, which God bless her soul. Honestly, anybody that does more than one, God bless him. She sold from 2016 to 2017, part of the TD organization, went to the University of Northern Arizona, originally from Tempe, hot as shit. And if you want to get a hold of her at peanutbutter.joe, as you see on the screen there, go check out her Instagram if you want to go and connect, learn a little bit more about what she's doing. Today, we're going to learn about what she's doing. We don't do any sort of pre-approach, any sort of research on our guests beforehand because we believe in the organic connection that you can make with someone who also did this job, which I hope you guys enjoy. So when we're back, we'll be with Joe.
Ponytails Podcast. Here we go.
What's up?
Howdy.
How's it going?
I'm amazing. I loved your introduction.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to shit on Tempe, but it's so hot.
Okay, that's really funny. I guess I'm really self-involved because you said Tempe and then you're like, it's hot as shit. But no, oh, no, you didn't say it's. You just said hot as shit. And I thought you were talking about me. I'm like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, oh wait, no. He's talking about Tempe. He didn't even, he was not talking about me.
That might be the best start to an episode we've ever had. That is hilarious.
Oh, good. I was like, I don't know if this is risky because I don't know.
I mean, we're all beautiful. We're all beautiful.
Thank you. I got a beautiful out of it. That was my goal.
There you go. That's we're doing our best. I don't think I've ever physically commented on any of our guests, both male or female. And I actually know I've probably we've had some beautiful people on the show, and I think they're all beautiful, right? But we've had some where I was like, wow, this man, I want his hair or something like that. Like we've had Zane Gallagher on the show. Man's beautiful. We've had, that's my crush. Zane, I love you, buddy. I want your abs if you're listening.
Ooh.
I hope he is. Anyway, well, Tempe is scorching hot. I was there last summer selling door to door with one of our sponsor companies, actually, EnLight.Energy, and man, it was no wonder you left. No wonder you're in Flagstaff now. It's too warm. It's too warm down there. Can't do it.
Exactly.
Damn.
I went last like 2 weeks ago, and I was so sweaty, and I was worried about how I smelled. And I'm like, I don't really have to do that in a place where the weather is reasonable. Like, exactly. I'm not worried. Like, do I stink? Like on Flagstaff, I'm like, oh, we smell good.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful up there too. It's a much nicer part of Arizona, I think. But this and there, whatever, people's preferences. Let's dive in. Hang on. So if people don't know, we don't do any research on our guests, so we're about to just meet. This is the first time we've had more than a 5-minute interaction ever, and so this is super exciting. Catch me up. So 2017, you left Southwestern. We can get into why right now, or we can get into why later. You left Southwestern, but you leave Southwestern. Catch us up. What's been going on the last 5 years? What are you up to now? What were you up to before?
So I'll start with what I'm up to now, and then I'll answer your other question. Sure. So I am a photographer and a video producer, and I work full-time for a brewery and distillery. It's either the third or the fifth largest in the state of Arizona. I'd like to think it's the third, but my coworkers go back and forth. People give me mixed information. But so I do that full-time, and then I also run a few businesses actually on the side. So I'd have my, video production and photography business. And I also am getting into course creation. I don't know. You probably, So it's basically just online education, and basically just creating intellectual assets that can be sold and sold and sold and sold as many times as possible. And you could be selling in your sleep, as long as you create an automated system to sell for you. So that's another business that I have. I also own an Etsy business.
Nice.
I don't know why I'm not wearing any of my jewelry, but I sell just jewelry online. I've only had 3 sales, but got to start somewhere.
Hey, that's all right. That's good. It's good enough.
Yeah.
It's at least you've made some sales. I think we sold 1 hoodie. So I'm just kidding. I don't know how many hoodies we've sold, but it's hard to get into the merchandise business. So that's sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to do a big launch at some point for both of those. So the course, I started working on it in February, and I'm still working on it. And it's an online weight loss course.
Nice.
And you'll see it. I'm going to do a big launch in the winter of this year.
Super exciting. Let's go.
And then, the second question. Oh, sorry. You continue.
Oh, no, I was just going to comment. It's a lot of businesses are just really, really doing well with the online courses thing. I worked with SPS. It's a how to publish your own book company. Then there was, we were partners with Thought Leader, which they do a course building on. It's a more hands-on than just online videos. And there's actual live calls and stuff too, but they teach you how to do TED TEDx Talks and how to land TEDx Talks, which is huge because it's like the biggest online platform, to do that kind of content. There's like so many different ways of doing that. So you're actually getting to that space at a perfect time because it's like booming right now, and that's super
It
awesome.
is, yeah, and it's growing. I mean, I don't know. I think in 2025 it's going to be like $1 trillion industry by then, or
Yeah.
that's what it's projected to be. So it's huge, and I think not everyone does it because it's so much work to just create the actual course. But once it's made, I mean, it's low risk investment. I mean, for me, especially because I own all my video equipment, I own all, everything that I need to make it happen.
Yeah.
I just need to buy the software to make it automated. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just gonna continue to grow and be huge.
It's bomb. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty
Yeah.
sick. Congratulations. And then I'll get into the brewing, but you wanted to answer the other question. So you go first, and then I want to talk about this brewing company because I think that's cool what you're doing there too.
Thank you. Why did I leave? I got married,
Oh,
but it didn't
whoa.
work out.
Whoa. Hold the phone.
Yeah, I got married to a book guy.
Well, is this a story for another time, or is this like are we opening?
Are you genuine? I mean, are you curious? I don't know,
It's your
maybe, but I'll answer your
yeah.
questions if you have any.
I mean, it's your call. It's your show. I'm just here. I'm just here talking to you. It's whatever you want to share. But dang, that sounds like an intense moment in your life.
It was interesting. Yeah. I'm just a doer. I just like go for it, and I just take my opportunity when I have it, and that's what I did with my marriage. And now I know, what kind of marriage I want moving forward, and
Mm.
how to be intentional, and how to choose, you know, a compatible partner. And yeah, I was 20, and your brain's not even developed till you're 25. So I'm not
Mm.
even there yet. I'm 24. So I was 20. I was young.
Yep, just
Yeah,
figuring it out. Hey, it happens. You know what?
exactly. So
I was just having a conversation with my brother about this today earlier. I don't know if you know Danny. You probably know Danny because you sold a
I
little later
met
than I
him,
did.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's great. And we've had him on the show, and we were having like a heart to heart. And I'm like, man, because I got married last February, as people probably know. Like, we know, dude. But anyway, I just
Congrats.
got married. Thank you. And I got married late. I mean, I was not late, but relatively to what people expect. I'm 29, so some people were like, "Wow, are you about time?" Some people were saying that to me. And I'm like, honestly, I'm I'm very glad that I lived my 20s and I realized and I understood kind of what you're understanding now, which is like, hey, what do you actually want in a partner? What is important? What makes it work? What doesn't? And if enough good things make it work, I believe anyway that it should work. So we were just talking about that with my brother today. So I'm glad that today's theme seems to be about marriage, at least in my life. Anyway,
Oh,
so
nice.
interesting. Now, I'm sorry to hear that though. That's hard to go through. Like, was that something that like you like how are you able to navigate through that? Because I feel like that's a tough moment in your life when a marriage doesn't work out, right? My parents are divorced. I saw that happen, and it was rough on them. That must have been difficult. I'm sorry you went through that.
You're so sweet. That's a very sweet thing to say. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it felt like I was mourning a loss, like someone died in my life.
Mm.
And it was really challenging. And I went through therapy, and
Mm.
it definitely helped a lot. Um, yeah, it was weird because I'm so young, and people were so happy for me because I got out of the marriage, and
Oh, interesting.
they just seemed so happy, while I was so like I was very happy to be out of the marriage, but it was still a devastating process because you think you're going to be with someone forever, and then reality hits, and you're like, well, this is just not going to work. And
Yeah.
it's better to get out, like, whether I like it or not, this marriage is going to end in 2 years, so I have to end it now. That's kind of what
Right.
I was going through. And honestly, it's been a year since I got divorced, and it's been honestly the best year of my life because I feel like I'm so much more mature, and I'm so much more humbled. And
Right.
I'm not as judgmental anymore, because when you go through something like so hard and devastating, but also that something that's like ultimately going to be so good for you, um, you realize like a lot more people around you are probably facing really tough situations, and they're probably facing just, just like really deep, strong, crazy emotions. And I have to be more gracious with other people with what they're going through. And because I might never even know what they're going through, but I just need to give them grace and love, you know?
Incredible. That's a huge lesson to learn. That's a it's that's a good perspective. That's a perspective I tried to train people when they were selling books, and you knock on a door and a mom would just yell at you, or a dad would just eat you alive or light you on fire, and you'd be like, oh, what an asshole. But then you would leave and you're like, you know what? You never know. Like that guy could have just got a phone call that his dad got cancer, or that lady might have caught, is going through a terrible marriage, or something like that. And then you think about that and you're like, nah, it's fine. He needed to yell at somebody, and it just happened to be the first thing that happened was that I knocked on his door or whatever. And that's a good lesson to learn. You learn that with this experience, and I feel like that's something that most people don't learn if they don't unless they go through something really difficult, or through an experience like selling books. But I'm happy that you learned that. That's huge, and that's really nice of you to say that. You never know what people are going through, so it's like, whew, amen to that. I will drink to that. My
Oh, yeah.
gin and orange juice and some kombucha.
Yum. What kind of gin is that?
I was drinking this with Jacob Levine. Oh, you probably know Jacob. um
Oh, yes.
it's this Portland gin. It's too bright. You can't see it, but it's called Portland Gin Dry.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. There's this much left in it. It was full with Jacob's episode, and I'm gonna say I drank 75% of this. So we party on the show. It's all good.
That's
You can.
impressive.
it's just
I
it's
love
what I do
that.
for work.
I also love that you're drinking gin. I feel like gin is the IPA of spirits
Yeah, I
because,
understand
like,
you.
yeah, like beer, like IPAs, there's so many different ways you can do an IPA. There's so many different flavor profiles, and with gin, it can also be the same. You can, you know, it the flavor isn't like the requirement, it's like the botanicals that go into the distilling process is what makes the gin, and you can really you know do it all sorts of different ways.
Yeah,
Gin just take every gin tastes so different to me
it's a
personally.
spectrum. It's a spectrum, and this is great gin. And we're not even sponsored by New Deal Distillery batch distilled gin from Portland. We're not, but we could be, but we're not.
Whoa,
Um,
I love that.
we are sponsored by Hum Kombucha, and shout out to Michelle Mitchell for that. We drink Hum, but as long as doesn't have any other thing, I can drink other stuff too. I'm drinking orange juice because I'm getting over a cold, so it's fine.
Smart, yeah, that's the way to do it.
With
Gin and
alcohol,
juice for
right?
sure. Yeah, I think
This is
with alcohol it like calms your stress, and I feel like that's healthy.
yeah, and
Reducing stress.
the alcohol in the blood helps kill the virus. I read
Exactly.
I read it on the CDC somewhere. I did not, by the way. I don't know if I have to say that illegally. That is not. But my mom told me.
Hmm.
So here we are. So
There
speaking
you
of
go.
IPAs and breweries, all right. So you get into this awesome company. How the heck did you stumble into this? Tell me a little bit more about how you, because it sounds like it's a really sweet gig that you got with this company. Tell me
It's a
about that.
very sweet gig. I'm very lucky. So this is how it happened. Um, I was just graduated from college with a political science degree, and I was like, I'm not using that. I don't want to do that. I'm not going to law school. Um, so I decided, basically a year into my last year, my senior year of college, I decided I'm going to be a video producer because that's what I want to do. And I have some training from high school. I just took a TV productions class, and it really, helped influence my love for not only video production, but also just the business behind video production. Um, you could be an entrepreneur and also be a creative at the same time. So basically, when I graduated college, I saw that the Grand Canyon Brewing Company were opening up another location in Flagstaff because they're originally 45 minutes away in Williams, Arizona, by like gateway to the Grand Canyon. That's why it's the Grand Canyon Brewery. So
I love that area. It's amazing.
It's gorgeous.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it so much here. So basically their grand opening, I went and I got an application and I told them, I sat right next to the person that I thought was in charge at the bar, and I just got, now he's my boss, but at the time I didn't know who he was. I thought he owned the place. But he was just the graphic designer brand manager. So I sat right next to him. His name's Kevin, and I was like, hey, I was the one that liked all of your Instagram posts last night on your, on Instagram. And then he was like, oh yeah, I saw that our Instagram blew up last night. And I'm like, yeah, that was me. I'm a video producer, so I would love to do work for your company. And then a month later, so I just was serving there because I didn't have enough clients to work full time. So I started serving at the Grand Canyon Brewery, and a month into me working there, the owner came up to me and was like, I saw your work on your Instagram account, and I want to hire internally before I go and look, for a video producer outside of the company. So basically he just came up to me and said he wanted to hire me to do that. And that's where it all started. And eventually it became full time. And yeah, so it's amazing. I love it. It's nice. I have my own office.
Sick. Yeah.
I get to make my own schedule. I get to have fun. I get to get free liquor and beer because it's also a distillery. This is the coffee liqueur. Yeah. So I basically use my sales skills, my cold calling skills, to just walk right up to the person I needed and just went for it. I sent it was sent. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Full send.
You just said, oh, have you not heard about me? I have. You liked all our shit. Yes.
Yeah, I need to use that more. Have you not heard about me yet?
Oh, have you not heard about me?
I need to use that more. That's the most brilliant line I've ever heard.
It is. It's so good to use that in the second approach, especially if you ever, like, I don't know, I never was good at using the second approach, but when I would follow people who were beasts at it, and then they would like use it so confidently that you're like, oh God, how has this lady not heard of them? Like, really? They would say it so confidently. You're like, God damn, I'm glad I've heard of them. Jeez. It's a good line. It's a good line. So now, okay, what does your day look like? What does your day look like now? So you like do just a video for them, and do you do graphic design for them too? Like what is like your task at this brewery look like?
Yeah, so I handle all of the social media. I do produce it all for the most part.
I see.
So I plan my, what photo shoots we need to be doing, and I coordinate those. So I handle all pre-production, production, and post-production. So I plan the shoots, and I collaborate with as many people who have the time and are willing to do it. And because there's 200 employees within the company, so I try to find people, because collaboration is the best way to make, significantly better work. And then I do all of the production. So I set up, whether it's like, let's say if we're doing, like right now we're in the process of making end of the year presentation videos for our distributors. And then we're also going to release those on social media as well. And so I'll set up all the lighting, all of the audio, the 2 cameras. And then the editing, I do all the editing, and then I do all the publishing on social media. So all the writing of the captions, I do. And yeah, I create basically a schedule for the next few weeks of what's going to be posted. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I do. I'm trying to think if I do anything else. We've been really trying to do like more productions. And right now we're planning a little like retirement video for one of our beers called Trail Hike. And we're going to do a survivor theme. Like, this trail hike gets voted off the island. So nice. I'm trying to write a script right now. So it's pretty cool. And then I just get to, sometimes it's just like making reels in the moment, doing live feeds. So it's pretty cool.
That's badass. We have actually been looking for uh it, and the reason I'm saying this is to commend you for anybody listening. You're like, oh, so she does Instagram all day. No, that shit takes effort. That's a whole department of people that should be doing this. It's so much work to coordinate all this kind of stuff, scheduling times, posting times, ideas, content creation, hurdles, generating captions for your videos, lighting, all that jazz alone. You could almost hire a single person to do each one of those tasks regularly, and how frequently you need to do it, it's insane. So I was just saying, we were looking for someone to do that for us here on the show, and it's just like right now it's like a group effort, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle. So hats off to you.
Thank you. Yeah,
for being able to do
I
that.
made
That's crazy.
myself the most valuable I could be, because I started as a video producer, but I was like, oh well, if I want business full time, I'm going to learn photography because I just want to make more money.
Yeah.
And then I learned how to do, with video production, I learned how to do audio setup and lighting setup. And then I hated doing captions at first, but no one else was willing to do it in my company. So I had to just do it. I just had to be like, you know what? No, I have to get creative. I have to research. I have to just put in some work. And
Yeah.
I think that's, has helped me do what I do at the capacity I do it, just because I've just keep learning a new skill in my, in the marketing, in the realm of marketing. So yeah.
There is so much. There's so much. People do not. The technology has advanced so quickly, and the internet has evolved so fast with social media and other platforms, SEOs, and all that kind of stuff, that people don't understand how much goes into marketing. Really, really goes into all the marketing. People think it's just like emailing lists. No, that's just one section. That's one section of a branch of a section, right? There's so much. It's rough. It's rough. Now you're trying to make it into a skit. Did I see on your Instagram that you were doing stand up? Is that where the funny bone comes from? That's epic. How long have you been doing stand up for?
Oh, well, okay. I would love to tell you a really funny story about that.
Sure.
Because I have not been. That was my first time actually getting on stage. But I'm like writing sets, and here's why, and I'll tell you why. And it's kind of a sad story, nice. But we're making it very positive. So my ex-husband, he was like, there can only be one comic in the house. He did stand up. Oh. And I was like, yes, sir. You got it. I'm a loyal and obedient wife, whatever you say. And then it dawned on me, I'm like, wait, no, I want to do this. So obviously it's why I divorced him. Just that reason alone.
Fair enough. You weren't allowed.
I'm just kidding.
If my wife told me I couldn't be funny, I'd be like, I'm sorry, but I am. Bye.
I'm going to do it. Yeah, it's been amazing. Like, I just did one show, but I've been writing, because I've been writing jokes for a long time. And when I was married, I would go to his shows and stuff. It was just like, at a bar in town once a week. And I really have always wanted to do it. And with my job, caption writing, my goal is to be funny and make people laugh, and even making reels and stuff, because I don't know, that's just what I like to do. I like to be funny. So I've been leaning a lot more into stand-up lately. I have all these jokes that I'm going to do soon.
Dude, you need to go listen to Roger Sipes' episode with me, because I do stand. I don't know if you knew that. I do stand-up.
I know that. Yeah. I definitely know that. So, sorry, I got all fangirl.
No, it's so... I was just talking to Jacob Levine about this, because we were talking about him, and he does video production too. He's really, really talented. So you guys should figure out a way to collab, because he does a lot of really good stuff too. Since you were talking about collaborations, by the way, we'll collab with you guys too. Ponytails is always open to help out or get involved with a book person. But anyways, Jacob was here and we were talking about passions, and I'm like, I've learned that this is a passion of mine, podcasting and doing this thing. But it was a learned passion. But comedy is like, if I could drop it all and do that, so I'm so happy for you. So happy that you got into it.
Thank you.
How did it feel? How did that first? It's like crazy, isn't it? Like you're like, oh. Oh, tell me about how that first time went.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how it happened. So basically, I did some photos for this tap room in January, so like, I don't know, 8-9 months ago, and I had this $100 tab as long like they paid me, but they're also like, you can also have this $100 tab at our tap room. So, and I haven't used it for 9 months. So I was like, okay, well, it's Wednesday. I know that there's comedy night. So I'm going to just like, I'm going to go and just hope for the best. And hopefully I can do a set or something. So I came in and I talked to the owner. And basically he was like, the person who normally hosts our stand-up comedy, they're not here right now. They're out of town. Are you able to do it?
You hosted
was,
on your first open mic? You just got
yeah.
into it? What? That's crazy.
They're like, yeah.
That's wild.
They're like, can
Oh
you
my
host?
God.
Also, here's how you do it. Here's like, okay, so just throw a few jokes out and then introduce the next person. And I'm like, oh yeah, cool. Like I've never done my jokes on stage, but you know, hopefully they land. Most of them didn't, but you know, the one I recorded, that one wasn't bad, so I posted that. But it was amazing. The feeling was incredible. Like I have never felt more happy. Well, I probably have been happier, but I was so happy after I left. I actually rode my bike there, so I was riding my bike home. I was like all smiling, listening to like Drake. Just started from the bottom, now we're here. Just happiest I've ever been, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is something I really want to continue doing because I've just felt very insecure about the way I speak, and I just want to get better at that. I want to get better at public speaking, and I want to be, I guess, just, I don't know. I think I've had some weird insecurities about being the center of attention because, you know, for a few years I was with someone that was, I think they like projected a lot of insecurity on me and made me feel like I couldn't be the center of attention anymore, which I've always been my whole life. I've always been the center of attention. So it was like, oh, I guess I'm not that, I can't do that anymore. I've been feeling really insecure about being seen by other people and being the center of attention. But now I'm like, no, that's just like, you know, false beliefs. And the truth is, like, it's okay for me to be the center of attention. And it doesn't matter, you know, people, they're not going to always like me. They're not going to always accept me. And that's okay. They're not going to always think I'm funny, but who cares?
Haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna
Haters
hate.
gonna hate.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Oh,
it's
man.
been very empowering. Long story short.
No, I understand that. It's there's a difference between wanting to be the center of attention and knowing you can be. And I feel like if you understand that difference, I got a long way to work on that. I'll be the first to tell you, people, my haters, which is there's the whole fan club. They could all probably make T-shirts, but if wherever they are, they'd be the first to tell you, oh, he's always the center of attention. Yeah, that's probably true. But I'm trying to find that place in my life where it's like I don't have to be, but when I am, it's okay. You can shine a little bit. You can be funny, or you can have an opinion and not care if people like it or not. And that's a key place to arrive to. And I think that you've arrived there, and that's awesome. Congrats. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. So cool.
Thank you. I think it's like what I've learned, especially with the work I do. I've just learned, like we said at the beginning of the show, just humility. The reason why I wouldn't put myself out there is because I'm too scared of what people are going to think. But at the end of the day, it's like, it doesn't matter what people think about me. And that's not humility. If we're just sitting there like, oh, I'm not going to put myself out there because I'm worried about being judged. It's like, that's not humble at all. Like, I'm going to have humility. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm not going to care like what people are thinking about me, because it's not always about me. You know, they're even not thinking about me. Yeah. So I feel like, you put yourself out there, and obviously you have to have a certain level of humility to be able to do that, to just be like, no, I'm doing it anyways. I don't care what my haters say.
That's such a hard word to define humility, because you're also supposed to be confident. And it's like and you always know when you meet someone who's confident and humble at the same time, because you're like, wow, That's cool. Like I think of my buddy, one of the most humble people I know, like genuinely humble people, is my buddy Hector. He when I played soccer, non-professional person that I've watched play soccer. He's what? Oh man, is my connection choppy? I feel like my connection's getting choppy. Dang it!
I like
I
it.
got.
It seems okay now.
Is it okay now? Okay, good. We'll be back. If it gets choppy, Amy, if you could let us know, let me know in the chat if I'm getting choppy so I can do that. But anyway, buddy Hector, he super best person I've ever seen play soccer that isn't a pro, like that I've played with. And I'm like, how are you so good? And he goes, I don't know. I just work really hard. Like, I don't even know how he does it, but he doesn't like, I don't know. He doesn't like ever brag, but he's always so good at it. And people know he's good at this. And it's like, but you could tell he's confident at the same time. I don't know how he does it. It's an art form. I wish I could do it like that. It's so good. It's so good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know. Yeah. I'm
I
just
feel like
thinking
it's
out
the
loud now.
art of long suffering. I feel like that's what like people who have been through the ringer have experienced things and you know taken a lot of L's. you know,
Yeah.
like they are confident and secure because they've experienced such great loss and also just huge victories. So I feel like that is part of like why people can be very confident, humble, and also just experience in time. Like if you're young, yeah, you're not going to be as confident because you don't have as much experience.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think also it's knowing yourself really well because I think that hardships bring up self reflection and self knowledge, like self realization. And so the more you get to know yourself and dig in, then like I always tell people, there were people like, "How are you doing?" I go, "I'm taking over the world." I took that from a buddy of mine, and he used to say it all the time. And I said, "Taking over the world," and they're like, "Oh, are you starting with Oregon or the United States?" And I go, "No, in here. I started in here first. I got to take over myself, which will probably take about 80 years,
Mm,
and then I'll see about Portland and Oregon after that. But I'm gonna give myself a shot first because how the hell am I gonna conquer the world if I can't freaking handle myself?" And
mhm.
I'm in this journey of trying to know myself better. And I feel like the more you do that, the more you realize your weaknesses, and then those kind of balance out your confidences, in whatever things you do. And that's what I'm striving for. But man, I fail all the fucking time because I feel like I'm the owner of Portland or the owner of the United States sometimes. And it's like, who the hell do you think you are, dude? Get your shit together. Pay attention. I don't know. Just thinking out loud again.
Mhm. I like
Hmm.
it.
Good times. Now this is cool. I'm glad. I'm proud of you. Are you going to go back to do some more comedy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm getting my set ready for next September 7th. Because in Flagstaff, there's not a ton of places to do comedy. There's only,
Yeah.
there's less than 100,000 people who live here. So they do comedy every other Wednesday until I could convince them to do every week. Which
That's right.
I don't think it'll be that hard to convince them to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna go back after it. I've been, one of my friends, actually he's like more like a cousin to me. We call each other cousins, and he's been helping me refine my jokes for my next set. But yeah, tell me more about you and your comedy. I want to hear how you got into it, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I actually started. I was married. I'm just kidding. No. I was. There was a book guy who was named Brandon Q. I don't know if you know Brandon.
Yeah,
Um,
I went to his wedding. That's how I met you.
oh, that's right. That's where we met the first time. Like, but we didn't
Yes.
really talk. This is like the most longest. That's what I meant earlier.
You,
This is the longest we've talked for more
I,
than 5 minutes.
yeah. You were dancing. You were on the dance floor getting it. That might be why.
Doesn't sound like me.
Does it? Oh, maybe it was your
It's
brother.
no,
I
it's
don't
no.
know.
It was definitely me. It was definitely. It was
Okay.
definitely
Like, I thought you were
for
just killing it
sure.
on the dance floor.
I don't know about killing it, but I was having my best time because
Yeah.
damn, great wedding, beautiful wedding. Um, yeah. Long story short, I was actually there when Brendan and Amanda met. Like we were in the org together. We were in force. I was still selling books, but this was like way back to Get Back. I knew Brendan did stand up. I knew he'd like been involved, and I had a dream. I've always wanted to do it. There's a longer version of the story in Roger Sipes episode, but we'll just do the short one here.
Oh.
But um, unless you have more questions, and you're more than it's always supposed to be conversational, but I like to ask all the questions. Anyway, yeah. So Brandon and I we were at in Arizona, actually, of all places. We were key persons meeting in Phoenix. And I go, hey, if we're ever in the same city, I'm going to do stand up with you because I want to get into this. And he goes, you mean that? And I go, yeah, absolutely. He goes, all right. It's like a year later, some odd time later, him and Amanda start dating. I don't know this. Like, I know they go on dates, but I didn't know that they had started dating. I knew they were seeing each other. Next thing I know, Brandon calls me and he's like, hey, I live in Omaha now. Did you still mean that when you said that if I was in the same area as you, that you would do comedy with me? And I said, yeah. Lincoln's only like a 45-minute drive from the right place to the right place. And I was like, fine. So he goes, all right, next week you're gonna have 5 minutes set. There's gonna be an open mic next Wednesday at Barley Street Tavern. See you there. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, just write some jokes. I go, how do I? Good luck. Kind of like you throw a first year out there.
Yeah.
You know how to write.
Just
Good
go
luck.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
You're never gonna
that's
be
what
ready.
happened.
Go.
No, it's not. And people who like want to try it, it's like, and now I shall say like that the first step is just getting to an open mic and just really like getting it out there. And then this next step is to continue doing it. And you know, like you just have to keep going, keep practicing, keep refining it. It's gonna be bad sometimes, it's gonna be shit sometimes, it's gonna be funny sometimes, it's good. All of those things are good because you'll learn. And so that's what we kept doing. We kept going, we got to a point where we were having enough people. It was funny because you're not supposed to do this quick. We just did a good job because we partnered up really well and we were booked guys, so we knew how to like be
You knew how to
confident
make
and approach
money.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got to a point where I don't remember exactly how it happened, but at one point Brandon was like, hey, we have a gig and it's paid. Like they're paying us. We just got to get people out to this bar in Springfield, Nebraska, which is just outside of Omaha. And like if we fill up this bar, it'll be good for us because we can just do a show there every once in a while. So we did, and we had a quarterly show going. And yeah, then the band broke up. We broke up like the Beatles for reasons. I have a whole bit about this actually in my stand-up because I had to explain the community of comics in the area, like how it happened. And I love Brandon still
Yeah, I
to
want to
death.
hear that.
But basically, this is a bit I would say. I'll go. There's a guy by the name of Isaiah Garza who came up to live with Brandon, and he also sold books. And he, we were a duo. We were called Tall, Dark, and Comedy because Brandon is 6'8". I'm brown, if you can't tell, if you're listening. and
I love that.
and the comedy, right? So, and so anyway, there was it was a duo thing, and then Isaiah showed up, and now it was a trio thing, and now it meant that there was going to be majority voting, right, and things and then directions, and so we had different opinions in the direction that we wanted to take the group. My opinion was that I should stay in the group, and we had differing opinions on the direction that we wanted to take the group. So I essentially got booted, which is, looking back on it, it was probably
The
good for
dark
me.
got booted.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Except except like Isaiah was Mexican, so I'm one of those people that got my job stolen by a Mexican, which it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that was that was actually the whole bit. Ha ha ha. And I'm being funny, people, before I get a freaking email from someone going, "You're a racist." I'm like, right. Anyway,
no,
so
he's just funny.
yeah, thanks. And so then that happened, and then actually that was really hard. But then I started on my own, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna prove to myself and to I don't need Brandon, I don't need Isaiah, I got this."
Right.
And so I went and I started an open mic myself at a bar. I approached this bartender. I went to this bar in Lincoln, and like the space was like perfect for comedy. It was like a cellar, and it had a stage, but they did music, live jazz music on there. And I talked to the bartender, and it happened she was the owner, Jackie. Shout out to you, Jackie. And she was like, "Oh my god, I've been wanting to do comedy here for a while." So I was just like a pony, like right place, right time. And I did that. And people in the community were like, "Oh, you think you're so cool? Like you've been doing comedy for like a year or two or whatever, and you think you can start your own mic?" And I go, "Yeah, do you want to come?" Because
Yeah.
like in Flagstaff, it's not like there's a ton of opportunity for mics. But one thing I did do really well, and one thing I'm confident in, is making new friends, which is why I think I enjoy this show so much. Is I just like meeting people, and what I did have was the ability to bring people out to see the mics and the shows, and so like we would have packed houses. And luckily, my connections with the comics that I made friends with that were better than me, I could bring them in to do like closing. So I would always be the host or the opener, and then they would be the closers. And man, it was so cool. That was some of the best comedy I ever did. And I mean, there was times where I would have like, in this little packed room, 100 people. Like we had standing room only, and it would be packed. And the bar owner was like, "Hell yeah! Like this is great
Wow.
for business. So you can whatever you want to do it." And so I was kind of given free reign
Yeah.
to do that. And I mean, I can go into details of all that stuff, but the point is, like, that's kind of how it just kept panning out. And then the pandemic hit, and yeah, shit kind of hit the fan because with comedy, it's different. Like if you had a band, like the jazz players could still play in their garage on Thursday nights, masked up or whatever, or
Mm-hmm.
but comics, you can't. Open mics are practice. Like if your gig is comedy, the open mics are actually just practice. That's where you go try out your new stuff to put into your full set list to go perform that full set, like that 30 minutes at the corporate event or the whatever, right? So um that was a bummer because everything closed down forever. And like, Lincoln and Omaha are pretty progressive cities. And so there was like, I mean, but when I left Lincoln, they let me do a show as a goodbye thing, and we still had like I think a whole bunch of people show up. But then I left and I moved to Portland to be with my wife, and um, then I came to Portland, a more progressive city, still more liberal city. So there was even less opportunity here, and so it hasn't actually been until about a few months ago that I started again going to mics. I did a mic last week, and I'm trying to get back into regularly going to mics because it's like now I don't have I know everybody here because I haven't made that many friends because of the pandemic. So now I'm just trying to like build out my set and just trying to rekindle some connections here, and hopefully start doing shows again because man, I miss it. It's like heroin, man. Like so when you tell a joke to a crowd and then they respond with a group of laughter, I don't know how to describe that. I've had some great moments in my life. First customer, saying I do, all this shit, right? First time having sex, all that stuff. Great feelings, but that's by far like one of the best ones for sure. So anyway, to
Wow.
jaws.
I have an
That means ha
empty.
ha ha in Spanish, people. Oh, well, Phil,
Oh,
solve that
I know.
problem.
I need to solve that problem. You're right. Also, I have a Spanish joke. If you want to hear
Do
it.
it. Let's
Okay. Well, I don't know
people
if it's a
listening are
joke, but
like,
it's
what the fuck are they
premise.
practicing comedy on here?
Yeah, we are.
Do it. Sorry, it's our show.
So when I introduce myself sometimes to someone that I know is Hispanic or speaks Spanish, or like at least is Hispanic, brown, dark, handsome,
Oh.
beautiful. I'll always be like, "My name's Joe," but in Spanish, I think it's Ho, and usually they laugh. And it's a joke. It's supposed to be funny.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's great. Jessica.
Oh,
Jessica.
Jessica. Yeah. Or it's that if I say my full name. But I like
In Spanish, it could be
Joe.
ho or I or me.
Oh, I
Ho or me.
interesting.
Like Joe.
Oh, or me. Okay, I see. I see.
Ho or me. Yeah, you got some potential there. We should exchange notes after this show.
Thank you.
Just keep in touch with me. We'll work on some jokes together. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. We could be like working it out. That I don't know
Tall,
who does
short,
that
and comedy.
podcast.
How tall are you?
Oh yeah, I'm 5'1",
Oh shit.
so I am short.
Tall, short, and
Tall,
comedy.
short.
Short,
Let's do it.
short and dark. Short. Oh man.
White
Hell yeah.
and white and dark. I'm just kidding.
White and dark. Oreo.
Short brown comedy. Yeah.
Short brown comedy. Short dark comedy. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we're working it out still.
We'll figure it out. The name doesn't have to stick. But yeah, congrats into comedy and to more jaws and all that stuff. I have so many bits to share. We could exchange notes. I'm excited about it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that would be great. Yeah, it could help
Cheers.
me with my punchlines.
All right. Hell yeah. Cool. Let's do a quick shout out and then we can go into some Southwestern stuff. You cool with that? You down?
Okay, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Big shout out to this t-shirt. Look at this t-shirt. I got this t-shirt from Pat Roach, and he sent the note saying, have you ever had somebody try to chase you down and grab you from how good you look in a t-shirt? Well, get ready. And he sent me this shirt. So thank you, sir, for the shirt. 99% drama free over at Real Estate. And here is Pat's advice on if you're getting into real estate with him or, on your own. But he asked the question, what makes a successful realtor? He said that can mean a few things. Some people can build a successful brokerage or be a standout agent. Building out your network is the most important thing for you. The most important for the client is your professionalism. Do you operate in integrity and reliability? Can you accurately determine the property's value? Can you do what others can't in the business? As you can walk through, giving a walkthrough or give a proper framing of the listings price. Can you play strategically? Each home is listed at a price, and if it's overpriced, you have a lot of leverage as a buyer. If it's underpriced, you should act immediately. Here's some little tips that he's given, but basically, be a good human being. And as we all know, Pat and pretty much everyone on his team that we've ever met on the show is. So, if you guys want to join a sweet crowd of people doing some awesome things in the real estate world, for sure, hit us up and we'll put you in touch with Pat. Love you, brother. He's awesome. Look forward to another episode with you here soon. And again, one more shout out to Greta Huerta. She's with Cardinal Senior Benefits. She is a beast. And one of the things she's learned after making a shit ton of money with them is how to invest in yourself. So one of the things she said is make sure you put away into savings what you should in order to sustain yourself in a scary situation. The recommended amount is about 6 months of income. Pay yourself first so that way you can have emergency funds, about 6 months of income for some cushion just in case you need it. Cardinal Senior Benefits is crushing it. Their agents are averaging, I think, 30 to 40 hours, not even 30 to 35 hours a week. And their top agents are earning about 10 to 15K revenue gross per week. So if you want to hear more about how that opportunity works, make sure you reach out to us. We'll put you in touch with them for sure. Now, Joe, back to you. And Joe, Southwestern story. How the hell did you? I feel like I have an idea of how this could have happened because of our previous guests, one of our earliest guests on the show. But I want to hear from your side. How the heck did you get into this crazy Southwestern world?
My sister, my amazing, wonderful, lovely sister. I'm very lucky that, yeah. So it's actually funny because my mom only has like negative things to say about Southwestern because she obviously has never done it before, so she doesn't know. She doesn't understand how awesome it is. Oh, she's just complaining about how every single year my sister like totaled the car. I'm like, well, that's could have happened anywhere. That's just because Victoria's a bad driver. It doesn't have anything to do with book selling. I mean, in my opinion, I think that could happen anywhere. I mean, yeah, we do an excessive amount of driving in that job. Anyways, so yeah, my sister, I saw this huge shift in her, I guess, temperament. I think that's the right word. I think she just had a lot more control over her emotions. And I didn't see that a lot growing up because when you're a child, like you're just learning, you don't know, like you just react. And I started seeing her just respond to life and not react to it. And I was like, whoa, what the hell did you do? You are so much nicer, so much better. I like you a lot more. So I'm gonna do whatever you did because I want to be, just as cool and optimistic as you are. So it's kind of how it happened.
Phenomenal. Now, so you didn't even have, she didn't have to approach you about it. You just you saw a piece of that apple and you're like, I want to bite. I want to bite.
Well, she did approach me. Yeah. I sat down with Aaron Reynolds in Tempe, awesome. And that was like the first initial meeting. Like she's like, hey, meet this awesome person named Aaron. And I fell in love with Aaron instantly. Obviously, she has this intoxicating personality. Yeah. So I was like, I want to do whatever you did.
So cool. Now, when you first heard about it, you originally heard, and you originally were attracted to it because of the way that your sister had grown. But then when you hear about what the actual experience is like, when you go through the info session, is that what still stuck to you? Or was there something else that just kind of like, I always ask people because some people say, oh, I went for the money, or I went for the travel, or I went for the growth. But it's always like something else, I feel like, deeper inside. Was there anything like that for you? Or was it something, or was it just really that?
So she started describing the details of what it was like to go from Arizona to Tennessee and then travel back and then meeting all these cool people and I guess just the travel. And I was like, whoa, like I'm just here in Arizona. And during the summer I could go live somewhere else. And I don't know, it just sounded really cool to me. That I think the one moment actually Erin, she did describe this one moment where she was like, every time she drives back from Tennessee to Arizona, she just stopped in New Mexico and watched the sunset. And I don't know why, like that detail was like, that's what I want. I want to be able to be a badass, drive across the country, work a whole summer, and then be a badass and drive 3 days back to Arizona and watch the sunset in New Mexico. I don't know why. It's like that silly little selling point for me. Oh, the sunset in New Mexico. That's what I'm gonna do that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes sense. Hey, honestly,
Yeah.
it's such an interesting thing because I feel like that describes the feeling of accomplishment. You know what I'm talking about? We're fast forwarding here a little bit, but the last delivery, and then you go to the bank, and then you get your check, and then you go home. Like you literally go, oh my god, I'm set. You tell your GPS to set course for Nashville, and you go. And that moment where you start driving back, you're like, holy shit, I just did that. I just did that experience. That's so unique. That's such a unique moment. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think now, especially with the work I do, I mean, it obviously really, really helps me because I'm an entrepreneur. And, you know, I have to just like tell people, hey, this is how much my price is. This is how much I cost to do this service. And then they'll pay me. Or they'll be like, oh, that's too much. You know, I can't do that. So obviously, like, that has really helped me. But I think what I really appreciated about the experience is that, like, oh, no. Oh, my camera died. Oh, dang. 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Hey, I'll do a quick shout out for people. One sec. We planned for this. We'll be right back with Joe. But while you guys are listening, make sure you guys sign up for our newsletter. Hello. If you haven't done this, come on, support us that way. It's free. It doesn't cost shit. And all you got to do is give us your email. We won't sell it. I promise. You're not going to get some spam. All you're going to get is a little bit about what we're doing here at the show. It's called The Colts. COLT. The Colts. You guys know why. And you can also keep track of your units. That's YOUNITS because you are your units on the Trot Center. So the Colts is our newsletter, and it's going to have a bunch of different things like upcoming guests, things to look forward to, new happenings at the show, shout outs from our jockeys, shout outs from our team members, and a way for you guys to keep track of your units. We're going to track how many units people can earn by the number of times they share an episode, the times they like one of our episodes, if they leave us a review, if you buy merch. If you join our monthly stable membership, which gives you a bunch of other perks, and that's paid, obviously, it's not free. If you attend or comment on things, there's going to be a variety of ways, more of those details to come. We're still planning that out, so please bear with us. We're a small team, and we're doing our best here with you guys. But on the plus side is this is going to be a cool way for us to build a community of alumni, and that's really the whole motivation behind this. Is we're just trying to create a really solid experience for the alumni so we can all stay in touch and kind of share in this awesome, community that is the Southwestern alumni and in our entire base. So go to the ponytailspodcast.com. That's www.theponytailspodcast.com to find out more, check out our merch, sign up for our stuff. Go check out our newsletter, guys. Love you lots. And now back to Joe. Boom.
Oh my goodness. Do you see? Oh, wait, okay, sorry. I don't know where I went. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, that's nice. I can hear you. Yeah.
And I can see you too.
You can see me with my camera?
Yeah, you're on.
What does it look
like?
Hold up. Oh, shit.
Hold up fingers. It looks like normal. You're back to normal.
Yeah. How many fingers
4 fingers. 4.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Try me again.
I have no idea. Okay, ready?
Mm-hmm. That's a big old fat 0.
Okay, good. I was like, no fingers are being held up. What kind of? Well, good. Yeah, I cannot see me.
You might have to scroll over if you're on full screen. You might be on a different desktop. Did I do it? Tell me I haven't done 152 episodes without telling you I haven't done 152 episodes. Yeah, we know. We've seen it all.
You've done 152. Yeah. I'm so proud of you. Right. That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, I think you make people feel really, like, I feel really good. I feel happy. I feel like accomplished. I feel proud of myself for even being on this. So I feel like that's kind of what you're doing to others. You're making them feel good about themselves.
We're just trying to help people feel seen, That's
you made me feel seen.
Yeah. Good, because we're seeing you. You're on camera. That's good. No, but no, you should be proud though. You're doing great things.
Usually behind camera.
And honestly, like that was the main. I was talking about this just now with the Trot Setter and the Colt. This is like, our mission statement at the show is to make this network come to life. Like we want to make sure when you sold books, people always told you, oh, there's 150,000 living alumni, and they're when you leave here, you're gonna do all these amazing. And I'm not saying that the company lied about it, because those people are all they're out there. We've met 150 of them, at least 152 more. But the fucking question is, where are they? And that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to find them.
Oh, I like that.
We're trying to round up the ponies.
Right? I love
that. Figure out where the hell they're at and be like, yo, let's come together, do some fun stuff. We're traveling. We're going to be in Arizona. Come check us out. We're going to be in Atlanta. Come see us. We're going to go to Bisler. We just got back from Bisler last month. It's fucking awesome. So fun.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah. That's the deal. And we're going to Bisler again next year. Make sure you should come. Joe, you got to come.
Okay.
Come to Bisler.
I know. Yeah. I should come. Yeah, definitely.
That's right. It'll be a fun time. We had like 18 people out there. It was small and nice. Actually, we wanted more, but honestly, the first one, I'm so glad it was like so small, and so glad that it was like, because it was a lot more manageable, and we learned a lot of things that we needed to be more prepared for. That if we had a big group, we would have been like, oh shit, we were not prepared for this. So luckily, it was actually a small group. But dude, we had a blast and we bonded. It was so cool, so cool. So yeah, come out to the next Bisler, October of next year. And Colombia. Now, all these details are tentative, so we'll have a more concrete official launch of that to get signed up. So stay tuned for that sometime later in the fall. But yeah, that's so fun. Anyway, big ass tangent. Go back to your first summer. You get recruited. How was this? So you get recruited and you're thinking, all right, I'm gonna go do this thing that my sister did. I'm gonna be awesome at this. Aaron's so cool. I'm in good hands, which you were. And now you get to sales school. Tell me about the mind blowing that is sales school, because it's fucking. It's such a hard experience to explain to people.
Yeah, it was. I thought I was a hard worker, and then I went to sales school, and I was like, I'm a lazy piece of shit. I'm like, I thought I could do anything, and I could work 80 hours, and it turns out, wow, I'm sleeping on the asphalt.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, and it's funny because like at sales school, at least in my experience, I was like compared to the other recruits the first years, like, oh, like, I don't know about Joe, she's sleeping on the asphalt. Like, I'm pretty sure like these other people that seem really, really ambitious and like they're gonna kill it, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna crush it, and Joe's just gonna be sleeping on the asphalt. So
that's right.
I ended up finishing the summer. I was a top first year, but I mean,
good.
It's not like the standards are super high.
That's fair.
Well, sorry, that might be rude.
No, it's not. It's not. No, listen. I will be the first to agree with you. And if I'm insulting someone here, well, fucking, I'm sorry. You got yelled at the doors. It's the worst things have happened to you. But let me tell you this. 2012 was my first summer. We had Hannah Reesbrook sell 6,000 units. She crushed us all. I sold 4,100. And I think every summer since then, except for maybe one, I would have been the number 10 person, sold like 41, just a little bit below me. So like the top 10, all of us in the top 10, any of us would have been the number one every year after, except for one, maybe, I think. Yeah. The standards got lowered a little bit, especially 2016. I can for sure tell you that. That's why I left. I was like, this is fucking bullshit. So you're not, I'll insult people for you. So that way you don't have to feel bad. But top first year is still hard to do. Still hard to do anyway. So at the same time, good for you.
59. I might have been 69. I can't remember. Or wait, I don't even know if it goes up to 69, but
I think it goes up to 75. It used to go up to 150 my first summer, because people were selling a shit ton of books. That's great. You hit Sizzler. If you hit top first year, you hit Sizzler.
Yeah, I did. Sizzler was awesome.
Where'd you sell that first summer?
Texas.
Ooh. That's hard, man. That's hot.
That was rough. But the next summer 2, was way better. I love Wisconsin. I was in Wisconsin, and I love Midwesterners. They're very fiscally responsible. So like the sales, I don't know what that website is that you see all your sales, but it was all green. Like everybody had all strong orders. And then Texas, it was like mostly red or like yellow or whatever. But it was
Dude.
like, I don't know, maybe that was my fault, probably was, but I don't know. In Wisconsin, everyone was like, yeah, I'll give you all the money right now, no problem. That's cool.
Yeah.
We'll wait till the end of summer.
No, I think you're right. Again, sorry to bring up Jacob Levine again. Love you, buddy. But yeah, he just got done selling in Wisconsin, and like that's what he was saying too. They're like, it's just so nice when people just you show up and they're like, yeah, we have. Do we just pay for the whole thing, or can we just give you like you're like, oh, yeah, that's fine. No,
Yeah,
no big
like
deal.
they don't need 6 payment plans or 6 different, payment options.
They're just like, here, I'll write you a check, or here's my card, and they drop it, and it's a freaking metal card. It's just like clink. You're like, oh,
Yeah, like $1,000, no problem. Here you go. I
that's
was
epic.
I was just not expecting this purchase and have the money for it, so
Casually, 20 minutes later. Yeah.
I have $1,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Or whatever.
That's how it works. Did you and between either of your summers, did you ever have like days with that or families that you just really like? Like, did you have your favorite families? Do you still remember them, or is that long? Is that PTSD kind of like you're trying to bury it, which is fair if you.
Well, that's funny, yeah, because my therapist, she says one trait of a highly evolved person is that you can like basically block out negative experiences or memories. Like it doesn't serve you anymore, so you no longer carry them with you. And I don't even like think of it as a negative experience. Like I thought it was obviously there's hard shit, but like, at least I get to sleep in shelter every night and eat, like I don't know. I made an agreement to like my agreement was that I'm okay with working 100% off of commission. And if I'm mad or frustrated about it, well, that was the agreement that I made. So I only have me to be frustrated with because that was my choice. So I don't really think of it overall. Yeah, like if you're ever mad about how much you're getting paid, well, that was the agreement you made with your employer, you know? So
That is some wisdom right there. I mean, that is honestly, that is some of the wisest. We've had a lot of people on here that were positive with that aspect of Southwestern and the pay. But what you just said is actually really key to at least understand his perspective. Whether people listening agree with it or not, that's a powerful thing to note. It's like, I chose to go here and work on 0% guaranteed income. They told you that up front. Because man, I did research on like, I just typed in like Southwestern Advantage on YouTube, and holy shit, there's a couple of videos that are rough, to say the least. We are not the most.
yeah.
We are not the most. We're not always kind one way or the other to the experience. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not. But there are some people that are unkind on YouTube, and all the comments were like, I got tricked into doing this thing. But what you just said is key. You didn't get tricked into doing this. They told you up front, 80 hours a week, you're going to go door to door. You're going to sell some books.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And you made an agreement.
This. Yeah.
You're just like,
they
yeah,
took you to sales
I'm
school.
going to do
They
that.
took you to sales school. They showed you kind of a relative reality of how hard it can be. And it was still going to be a little harder than that. And they also told you that. You drove your car to this location. And then you started knocking on doors. Nobody's making you do shit. Don't be mad about the stupid decisions you made. Take responsibility and ownership for your choices and get over it. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like that specifically is what I carry with me in my business. It's like, I'm 24. Like, I don't give a shit what you're paying me. Like, whatever money you have, I'll take. Like, I'm not gonna be a little bitch about the rates that you give me. I'm really not. Like, I'm 24. Like, I haven't been doing this for 20 years. Like, I need experience. I need new experience. Like, I mean, obviously, like, I don't do stuff for free at this point anymore. Really, I don't. But like, if you don't have a lot of money, you still want to do something for your business, and I think it's gonna be something that like, this is an area I can really grow in. Like, I'm gonna do it. I don't care. Like, yeah, pay me whatever you can. Like, I just need to, because the thing is, like, learn and you grow, and you're only like increasing the equity into your own business when you continue to grow your skills, and like down the road now you have the skills to be able to take on more clients that'll pay more money. But if you were such a little bitch about your rates and you're like, no, I'm not going to do this for you, and you didn't get the experience, like maybe you're not going to be able to be prepared for when another client comes your way and wants business and will pay you what you're worth. That's just how I see it.
100%. You have a wise head on your young 24-year-old shoulders. Let me tell you that right
Oh my
now.
God, thank you.
Because that's a huge. Louis C.K. has a joke about this even, where he talks about when you go to like a restaurant, someone's like serving you a burger, like a fast food place, and they're like, they're pissy about their job, like the cashier. They're like, they hate their job, and it's like, you're fucking 20. You're 20 years old. You have
Yeah.
nothing to give. You've been hanging on to society and just absorbing love and iPods. Like, you have nothing to give. There's nothing in your experience in your life that you could have possibly have done that makes you worth more than the $15 an hour that you're getting to, like, take my order. So stop bitching and get your shit together and get some experience, because you're 20. Yeah, you went to that trip in
Yeah.
Nicaragua to help out the little school that they told you helped, but you totally didn't help. They saw you and they're like, oh, Jesus, some white girl's gonna like, or whatever, some American kid, rich dad, right, type of guy. Yeah, no, you didn't
Yeah.
do shit. You have no experience to show for it, right? So just take what you get. That job sucks, and that's why we gave it to you, because you're 20 or young, and right, like we said.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just learn. Yeah,
Yeah. Why are you getting all mad?
spot
You
on.
agreed to work $14 an hour. Like, you said
Yeah,
yes to this, and this is what you wanted. So go
yeah,
get it. Go get another opportunity. And like, yeah, with my full-time job, it's like, yeah, I'm not getting rich off of what working for the brewery, but like I get complete autonomy over my schedule, and I get complete creative control over what content gets to be made and published. And
yeah.
like I'm 24. Like I literally just got out of college like 3 years ago.
That's
So
a
I'm
great
I'm like,
gig.
yeah, like I'm very lucky. And my sister, she loves me and she wants best for me. She's like, you should, definitely try to like go somewhere else to make more money. But I'm like, I'm not trying to make more money from being employed. I'm trying to make more money as an entrepreneur. And this is going to help me in my entrepreneurship, endeavor. But like working for someone else, I don't think that's going to best serve me. Like right now I'm working for a family owned company. It's growing. It's pretty big. I mean, it's like third or fifth largest in the state,
Third.
but it's still family owned.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I
like learning like
literally,
from an entrepreneur.
I love all that. And um, I have a buddy of mine. He actually works with us on the show with some. Yeah, long story short, he approached me and he's like, "Hey man, like I'm trying to get into this, and I know you have a podcast, and I know that you might be looking for somebody who does this aspect of it. And again, we're a small team, so it's not like we have a person for everything. We could use a person for everything, but again, small businesses, right? So you have to like figure out how to be able to
Yeah.
hire people, but then still be able to stay sustainable. And so he goes, "Hey man, I'm not even looking to get paid. I just want to do this. And if you're willing to just give me a chunk of this responsibility for me to try it and learn and fail, I'm gonna suck at it. It's gonna be bad. But if it's something that you don't need massive growth in immediately, I'd like to work on this." And I said, "You know what? Actually, you can do this part of it. And I'll pay you here or there if I can, or if you don't." He's like, "No, you don't have to pay me. I'm not going to pretend like I'm worth money because I'm new at this." So like, okay, cool. So you're
That's so
looking for a
sweet.
guinea pig to try and fuck up and learn. He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay, so then I'll give you this chunk of this thing that ends up becoming a bigger part of it. But if you do great here, as you start learning, like, yeah." So I said, "Yeah." And he's doing a great job. And so I'll go, "Hey, how do I do this?" And he goes, "Actually, I don't know. Let me go learn and I'll come back." And so for him, it's a phenomenal experience to learn because he's working real time and his work is important to us. Is it absolutely necessary? No, but for him it is. And so the exchange is the experience. And so I was like, wow, that's really important to understand, because people who love doing something will do it almost for free or for low amounts as long as they enjoy doing it. And so the trick is to find people who love doing that. And in your case, you love doing this. You love doing content creation. You love doing, Instagram and social media, marketing. Good. You found a place that's willing to pay you for it. Hell, even better. But you acknowledge that you're new, and that is huge. That's huge. On the other hand, don't also sell yourself too short, because at some point you're going to be better than than a person that has no experience, and that's going to be worth money. And so then the second trick is be like, all right, how do I charge for this? Because I don't know how much I know, and then I don't want to overshoot and be, under deliver, but then I don't want to undershoot and not get enough money for what I'm putting. So it's like
Yeah,
it's an interesting journey
exactly.
altogether.
It is funny just to be like, hey, I guess this is how much I'm worth. Yeah, this is the price it is. So let's go with that. And then when people say yes, you're like, fuck yeah, this is great. And then you're like, okay, at least in my experience now, this is how I'm doing it. Once I get a client for a certain amount of money, then I can slowly increase it a little bit at a time, each client. Um, but yeah, because like I've been doing it for 3 years, just saying, hey, this is how much I'm worth. And now at this point, like I don't do any marketing for my business, because I work full time plus more, because I take on clients every month, at least one a month. And so people will come to me and they're asking like, hey, can you do this for me? I'm like, yeah, it's this much. And usually when they come to you, like, and they have a relationship with you, they'll be like, yeah, that's fine. And I'll be reasonable. Obviously I might be able to charge a lot more, I don't know, but I charge what at least I know I'm worth this,
Yeah.
and a little extra, and then each time I increase. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Totally get it. For us, it was the same way. When we started with our partners, like Pat was actually one of our first people who were like, "Hey, I've listened to every episode. I want to back you financially. Like, how do you guys charge?" And we were like, "Shit, like, give me some time to think about this." So we did, and we were open with them, like, "Hey, we haven't done this before. We don't know what we can or cannot do, but here's what we know. Here's how many people listen to us for sure. And so you're gonna have this many eyeballs on people talking and hearing about what you have to say. So what do you want to say to them?" But even since we worked with him, that was almost a year ago, and we've almost doubled, more than that. We've almost tripled like our regular viewership. And it's like, well, shit. Like now we take on a new sponsor, and it's like, all right, here's what we got now. Like, there's all these other avenues, and so it's important to understand your value as you grow, but also it's a tightrope. It's a tightrope for sure. You're doing a good job. You're doing
Yeah.
great. You should be proud.
Me, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
one thing that you said earlier, you're like, it was involving comedy, you're like, I've only been doing this for a year. And people would be like, you can't do a comedy show, or blah, blah, blah. And you're
Yeah.
just like, no, I can do it. It doesn't matter to me. Like, this is something that I dealt with at the beginning of video production and photography, because people went to school for this. Like, I went to school for political science. Like, I did not go to school for photography and video production. But
Right.
I've only been doing it for like really 3 years, but it doesn't, I used to not tell people like, oh, how long I've been doing it. I'm just like, here's my work. Because I feel like, yeah, I don't know if this was real or if I made it up in my head, that people would be, I don't know, like, basically I just didn't tell people how long I've been in the business. I've been kind of, no, I don't want to exaggerate. I'm not saying I exaggerated at all. I just showed them my work. But I don't think it matters how long you do something. I think it really matters like how much work you've been putting in, because you could be
Yes.
working, yeah, like, yeah, maybe it's been a year's worth of time, but I've been putting a year's worth of effort, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, you're a
Yeah.
cat person. Nobody's perfect, Joe.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, I got my cat.
it's all good.
She's like sitting
Um,
next to me.
Good. We've had cats, dogs, kids interrupt. It's all good. Um, what you said there is good. I love that. I just had an email with Alicia Huck. She's one of our Derby meeting attendees. By the way, check out our Derby meetings if you're listening. They're going to be regular episodes coming up here shortly, so you can listen to those. Who are a little more targeted and short, bite-sized. We have all our jockeys come talk and share about cool things that they're doing and their thoughts on different parts of growing a business. Listen to those. But Alicia Huck, she is one of those people that attends those meetings. Great person to learn from, and she was like, "Hey, don't sell yourself short. I've asked you about how to do like SEO, all this other stuff, and I can tell that you spent hours on the internet, like searching, learning, educating yourself, and becoming a master of this craft of trying to, now I got a lot to learn still, but I heard what she said, and I was like, you know what though? You're right. Like, I have spent hours of my life, and it on YouTube, yes, on YouTube, but I'm not, researching like sports highlights, unless I'm in the bathroom. But outside of the bathroom, I'm like researching, like, hey, how do I, market a podcast? How do I grow viewership? How do I create a newsletter? How do I, like, all these things? For two reasons. One, because I should know that stuff, because that's the business I'm in, and what I don't know, I need to learn, and I have responsibility that people pay me to know this. But
Mhm.
two, if I ever hire someone, I know what they're worth, because I know how much I know, and then it helps me know how much I don't know, to the point where I can be like, all
Mhm.
right, I know enough to know what I don't know, which is a key point to be in. So I have two choices. I go spend more time to go find out what I don't know, and I know how much that'll take, or I can hire someone to do that. And so then it's like it becomes a lot easier to operate and manage a company, because then you can just understand what the value is that you're looking for to fill, or how much of that you can calculate. All right, is that worth my 2 hours a day versus how much I would spend doing other things for those 2 hours that will help, so it's a big thing. And you're right, it's not about the
Mhm.
longevity from a standpoint of timeline. It's about how many hours have you put in to this to know what you're doing and know your shit and make sure you're an expert at it. And that's hard to measure, but it comes through in your product. It comes through in your delivery, right? Nobody needs to know that you've
Mhm.
been doing design or Instagram stuff or whatever for 3 years. But if you can show up
Yeah.
and be like, here's my product, right? Take Jacob Levine. Again, I'm bringing them up a lot in this episode, but like, it just has to do with this. But, he does those videos. You look up his video for like wedding videos and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, he told you he'd been doing it for 20 years. You believe him, because you could tell he's putting the
Yeah.
fucking effort in his product and his outward. So at the end of the day, if the money comes in and the product is delivered and that's what you agree to pay, boom, you did it. And you're doing that. So that's good for you. Good job.
Yeah. I feel
Go,
like, and you
Joe.
probably feel this too. You probably feel like every day you're just constantly learning something new. Like, oh, I've never
Yeah.
dealt with this before. I've never done this. Like, every single
Today.
day,
Yes.
without
Yep.
no
I can
fail.
tell you.
Like,
Yes. 100%. Amy can attest to this even for today. She can tell you in the chat what it was that we learned about today. I took a deep dive and I took 2 hours and just dug and dug and dug. Yeah. Yes.
I am
Absolutely.
genuinely curious of so many things. That's what she said.
Yeah. So many things. There you go. That's what she said. Anyway, but yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
Like, shit, like learning about LLCs, learning about how to the legal side of a business, right? Contracts,
Mm-hmm.
NDAs,
Yeah.
operational things, like even like little things like, hey, how are we going to communicate? I have a team that's completely remote. What's the most efficient way to communicate? Do you use Slack? Do you use Asana? Do you use Google Chats? Do you use, like, what's the benefits and pros and cons? Because all these things take money. And so before I just go invest, even if it's $100 in my company, it's $100 that I didn't, that I earned. So and
Yeah.
it's equity and it's sweat. And so you're like, before I go fucking dump this money, like, let me make sure I'm making the right choice. And sometimes you don't know, and right, so you got to make, and that's part of the learning process. And right, and you can pay a coach. That's also like investing in that. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's hard. It's hard to know, but every day you're right. Every single day, you said it perfectly said. Every single day you're learning something. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I know you probably have questions, but I also really appreciate that you said, like, you are willing to put in the time and the effort to learn something new so you know exactly what you want when you hire someone to do that. Like, that is, I really do appreciate you saying that. Cause, yeah, like for me, I feel like that's what I try to do too. Just like learn all these different, you know, like how to do audio, how to do lighting, how to do, PR, press releases. Like, so
Yeah.
then I know, like, when I have this like marketing company, I can hire the right people. So that's really cool that you have that insight.
Absolutely. And you need to know, like, you don't need to be the expert at it, but you need to know enough to know who's an expert at it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if I'm sitting down with someone and they want to be like, hey, I want to run, let's say I talk to you and I go, hey, Joe, I want you to do the Ponytails podcast social media, right? I know, and when we open up the episode with this, I know what you're doing. I know what it takes to create the content, to set up the meetings, to do the shoots, to do the lighting, to do the audio, to make sure the reels are up, to just even take the time to post a damn thing, to create captions, to research the hashtags, to all this shit that people don't even think about. This is just Instagram. We're not even talking about YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. No, we're just talking about just Instagram, TikTok shit, right? I know what that takes because I've done it for my show. When we were
Mm-hmm.
still small, I shouldn't talk like I'm big. We're still small, but when we were smaller, like I knew what that takes. So if I was to hire you for this, or someone like you, I'm like, hey, how much do you charge? And if you told me X amount, I'd be like, you know what? Yep, that makes sense. That's worth the amount, right? Also, if you give me a price that's a little lower than I thought, it might mean that you are not as confident. Versus if you give me a price that's too high, I'm either like, okay, I'm about to get like a beast, or you're overcharging. But I know that because I know what it
Mm-hmm.
takes, and that's big. That's
Yeah.
so big. That's so big. Gosh, you're good. You're doing great. You're doing great. Don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short on your age. You're doing phenomenal.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna like screen record when this episode's published that part. You're doing great. And I'm just gonna like look at it when I'm feeling
I'll cut the video
underconfident.
for you and send it to you. You can just have it on repeat.
I'll just like listen to the whole thing like every morning, an hour and or like 4 hours, whatever it ends up being.
It's up to you. It's your show. I mean, when we talked with Pedro Vega, that's the longest episode. It was like 4 hours and 14 minutes, and it was like we were talked about dads. We cried, So
Oh
we
yeah.
got real. We got real. Not that this hasn't been real. I'm just saying, like you talked about your dads. You're like, oh God, my dad.
Yeah, dads hit different for sure.
Yeah.
My dad, oh my gosh, most wonderful dad in the whole world. I promise you.
Yeah. How was Dad's Week for you? Like did you ever did you ever cry during Dad's
Oh
Week
yeah.
when you were doing this in the summer? Oh, rough. Those were rough.
Interesting. Why was it rough for you?
Oh man, because my dad's a hero. My dad's like, well,
Ooh.
my parents both, but
Mm-hmm.
my dad's like a fucking crazy man. Well, I mean, I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
because he was an immigrant, wasn't he?
We all were. Yeah, we moved here because we were
Yeah.
getting immersed. Yeah, check it out, people. I
It
don't
costs a
like to self
citizenship.
plug. I don't like to self plug, but it's right here. Yeah. So
Self plug,
Dad's
man.
Week was Dad's Week's always rough because I did Southwestern because it was the first thing in my life that I got to choose that was hard, and so when you're doing it, it's like and it's hard for you, and you're like, I'm having trouble having the courage to go to the next store and get told no by some Karen lady. My dad moved out here freaking with no money and no language and family and culture and knowledge of anything about Nebraska, and I'm bitching like, get your shit back, get your shit together, pay attention, go
Like,
to
you
work.
live in America. Relax. I'm just kidding.
Nobody's holding a gun to your head trying to kill you and your wife. Get to work, bro.
Yeah.
And so it's and then you think about that sacrifice, and you're like, fuck, I need 35 more units or whatever. It's
Yeah.
it makes you emotional, man. It makes it tough.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you got
Wow.
the growth that you wanted from the internship? Like you're talking about, that's what you were after with your sister. Like you saw it in your sister. Do you feel like you saw that in yourself?
Oh yeah, it was night and day for sure. Like honestly, for me, I know people have a lot of positive experiences to share and negative as well. But for
Yeah.
me, it was I honestly just don't remember the negative. Like my therapist says that's a good thing. I don't. I just don't. Like I am incredibly blessed in my opinion, just every way, shape, or and form. Like I'm just like super, super blessed and super lucky. And I feel like that experience just really helped me level up. Like it made me be able to associate with people that are entrepreneurs that are just operating at a higher level. Like I feel like now I can be able to have a relationship and be able to communicate to people that are running multi-million dollar businesses and be able to have that confidence and that understanding of yeah, you're gonna have to put in like 90-hour weeks. You just are like you're gonna have to work for no money sometimes. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. It's like I think it's just so funny to me personally. Like I'm not really looking for the next job. I'm looking to like just make my own money as an entrepreneur. Obviously not like I need a bunch of clients for that. So that's like my interest. But I think it's so funny how people feel so entitled to like businesses giving them more money. I'm like, look, they're a business. They took so much risk to get where they are. Like they probably took on a bunch of debt to be able to be at that level. So like, I don't know. I just think the experience for me was just I have a lot of gratitude for it because it really helped me understand the real grind. Like, to be rejected constantly. Like now I don't feel rejected very often, but I'm glad that I had so much experience with rejection because now I'm like, oh, it doesn't really phase me because it's like that just means next, doesn't mean
That's right.
means next. I don't know. So to me, I'm very grateful for it because as an entrepreneur, I think it was just absolutely invaluable. But I don't know, just my experience.
Is there anything about your experience where it changed? Like, were you ever like super off schedule, or were you ever like really like have a bad attitude that you go, I could go back and change that, and that would have probably been better. Do you ever think about anything like that?
Oh yeah, I definitely did not have a good attitude the whole time for sure. I was like being a little bitch. Like I barely became like a humble person. Like this is the 2022. That's when my humility kicked in. I
Right.
was just not oh wait, what was your question?
Well,
Sorry.
just in
I don't
general,
want to
was there
go
ever
off
like
course.
nah, you're gay. We can go wherever we want. It doesn't matter. I mean, shit, you should see, yeah, the episode with Jacob. We just went. I mean, shit, the episode with Pedro, we went on tangents. It don't matter. But yeah, like as far as like moments of shame, moments of like, oh man, I could be better doing this. I have a bad attitude, or I'm way off schedule. Like I went to the movie my third summer. I went to the movies like every other day. I was way off schedule.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it was awesome. It it's okay. Like I'm not encouraging people to do it. If you're listening to this and you're a first year or something, get your ass back to work. But
Yeah, you need to pay your dues.
yeah, go pay your dues. Until you go pay your dues, don't even think about it. But if you're at the movies,
Yeah.
it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It
I
sucks,
think I earned this.
but it's okay. Did you ever like have any moments like that of like where you're like, oh man,
Oh yeah.
I'm not fulfilling my promise here. I'm like going back against, or just not. I'm not doing as best as I could.
Yeah, I definitely had moments. I definitely like in the morning. It was mostly my first summer. I think my second summer I was okay. So my first summer I was more off schedule.
Here we go. Here
My
we go. Here we
second
go.
summer was a completely different reason. Um, but yeah, my first summer I like met this like really hot dad and really connected with him, and he was a single dad, and he just I don't know really enjoyed my company when I sold him books. And he's like, oh, can I get your number? I'm like, oh, well, you have my email. Anyways, we connected, and I definitely was a little tiny bit off schedule because I did spend a little bit of time, not that much, because he's a single dad.
You were
He's
just
busy
hanging
as
out at
fuck.
his house?
It was only like twice. It was only twice during the summer. I did hang out like
Oh, you
before.
went back. Oh, this is new. This is good stuff. This is good content.
Stuff. I know this is good
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Erin Reynolds
This
gonna
is
be so mad if she watches this.
Who gives a fuck?
I was her
Listen,
roommate.
we love you. We love you, Erin. You're great. But also, it was 5 years ago, so get over it. 6 years ago. You weren't even
I was
married
the
at
top
that point
first
yet.
year.
Things have changed.
No. Of course,
It's
I
okay.
wouldn't. Yeah. I was single. I was very single.
So you went back to this
And,
dad's house and hung out with him? What, did he have a pool or something, or what happened?
No, he was just like really hot and really nice. It was my first summer. I was single, and he was single too. And yeah, he just like wanted my number, and I'm like, oh, you have my email, and I had his number, so I ended up texting him and be like,
There you go.
hey. I don't even know what I said. But anyways, we did okay, so basically the first time we hung out was like, oh, I need an oil change.
Oh,
I just need help. I need help changing my oil. So he changed my oil for me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like only 18. So
and he shows up, takes his shirt
I was
off,
18 at the time.
unscrews a thing in your hood, that like classic movie scene where it's like,
Yeah.
I got this. Bounce,
It
bounce.
It was classic movie. Yep. He didn't take his shirt off, unfortunately, but he did. I did. It was like a Sunday. I was like, oh, I'm getting an oil change. And I went to get an oil change at this like, this guy's house. And he did change my oil, and then we did like kiss a little bit, and then
oh, this is good. This is good content.
I know. I don't even know if my sister knows this. Yeah, Victoria, you should watch this. An hour and 34 minutes in. You gotta watch. Like skip an hour 34.
I don't think we've had a lady share that they made out with a dad ever. I've shared my story, but I got a massage from a hot mom once. She was a masseuse, and she was lonely. So she offered a massage
Same.
in exchange. Yeah, yeah. But that's I don't think we've had a lady share that. The dad's the dance. You made out with his dad, huh?
They just don't tell anybody. Yeah. I
Oh,
haven't told
dude,
anybody, and it's been 5 years.
there's no way you're the only one. Like here's the thing. There's
No.
people listening to this that are like, oh my god, me too. Like I would never share that on the air, but for sure, me too. So don't worry. People are gonna be like, you might get text after this going, "Did you did what that?" And it's like, nah, listen, don't judge me. Don't judge me. You've done it too. We've all met the hot moms or dads. Shit, I've met hot dads that I'm like, God damn. He looks
Right?
bumpy
Yeah.
through the shirt. You're like, Jesus, what are you? How many
Mm,
sit-ups can you do, man? God bless you.
that's funny.
Fair enough.
Yes,
So that's
that
how you
was
got off
why I was
schedule your
off
first summer.
schedule. Well, it wasn't even like that crazy. Actually, I think I wasn't being completely genuine. I just now, I think what happened is that Aaron went out of town for a wedding, and then I got my oil changed and spent the night. Shh, don't tell anyone.
I mean,
And
we
then
just told everybody. We just told everybody.
yeah, yeah, I'm not pretending I'm perfect, so I don't need to be.
That's the humility you're talking about. But listen, let me tell you something right now. There's
Yeah.
gonna be people listening to this and be like, "Oh my God, Joe, how dare you? Fuck you." Sorry. And if that makes me lose listeners, I'm sorry. I don't care, dude. Who are we to judge? Who cares? This was like 6 years ago, and it's an internship in college. Get over it. Golly, no
Yeah.
problem.
So that was, I
Hell
think that the next morning, I think I like started working at 9:30, so obviously off schedule. But that only
Sure.
happened, I think, 3 times, or like it might have been that one time, and then the next time was deliveries, and then I like literally went to his place like at like 5 a.m. So like we
There you
only
go.
have 2 hours. Then I
Yeah.
gotta go make my rounds.
Yeah,
But
you actually got to go deliver.
but other than that, yeah, that was the fun part. But other than that, I was the reason I was on schedule was because I was sleeping in a gas station parking lot in my car.
Let's go. Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah, I feel like I just, the thing is now what I learned from that experience is like if somebody that knows what they're doing is teaching you something, you have to do exactly what they say, and you cannot not do that. Like with this course I'm creating, I am reading this book called Launch by Jeff Walker, and he's like
Great.
saying you have to follow. It's a PLF, product launch formula. He's saying you have to follow this exactly. You cannot not do every single step. And I'm like, oh, I understand that because I sold books, and because I didn't do every single step every time, I didn't make as much money as I could have. So now I know, yeah, I'm gonna do every single step.
Now, on a side note to that, we can get back to some more fun off-schedule stories. I can share one with you since you shared a vulnerable one with me.
Yeah.
One, I mean, thank you for sharing. So
You're welcome.
my the card with the thing that you just said is that time and technology changes things, and so like the formula that might have worked in 2015 to like I don't know launch a YouTube channel is completely different than what it is now, and so it's also part of so learning that kind of stuff like from that book, but then also going in and understanding the fundamentals of the things that you're learning. So if you're in digital marketing, like understanding like campaign emails and understanding like what blah 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 competitors, but right, understanding the fundamentals first and then the technical is also just important, because otherwise if you like this is the way that I got told by this book to do this thing and this is how the key, yes, you should follow it at the time, but then in 10 years there's no way that's still relevant, right? Maybe Instagram doesn't even exist. It won't. Instagram will not be the same thing in 10 years. Facebook is not the same thing it was 10 years ago, right? So there's key to understanding the fundamentals too, and I think that that's also important to know. Now, off schedule story for you, I'm not going to share. Okay, I got plenty of off schedule stories. I don't even know which one I should give you here.
How long did you sell?
I sold 4 summers. I did 2012,
Okay.
13, 14. I skipped 15, and I went back 2016. I was off schedule 2016 too, not as much at all. I was just not mentally checked in, so I was just like knocking on doors and being like, "Hey, I'm selling books." Okay, cool, see ya. Like not mentally checked in, which
Like,
is in its
okay,
own
bye.
way, which in its own way is kind of like super off schedule. But I still knocked on the doors. I did work the hours, and I told myself that I would do that, and I did.
You
So I
showed
was
up.
happy with that. I showed up, which is I was happy about.
Every day you
Not-
showed up.
Wasn't my best showing up, but I did my best at the time, and I was also mentally not like looking back. I'm like, I'm like really not happy about being here. I'm not. I feel coerced into being here, and it's not their fault. Like you said, I agreed to be here, so this is kind of my responsibility. But I also don't want to be. So it's like it was a weird feeling. But my third summer, for sure, off schedule.
Your fourth?
Nah, third summer, 2014. I was off schedule. I'm not gonna mention who this was with, but I met a girl that I was interested in at the time who was also a book girl. We met halfway. We met halfway in between her territory and mine. Went to the movies. Did a whole date
Damn.
in the middle of the summer. Oh yeah, it was good times. Full
That's
date.
so funny. It's like a completely normal situation, but it's super abnormal because we were in this like cult.
Yeah. Oh, and people and people listening are like, "How dare he?" I dare because I'm
Exactly.
out of it because I don't drink the Kool-Aid anymore, and it's fucking okay, dude. Get over it.
Yeah, it's
I-
okay. Yeah.
Listen, the fact that we're even nervous about sharing something so, like you said, that is a normal thing to do. If you were to any other context and you said, "Hey, I took the day off of work and I went to meet a girl I wanted to see, and we went and had a date, and we kissed, and then we went home and worked the next day." If you said that in any other context, people would be like, "So where's the crazy part?" But if you told the book person
Yeah.
that it was during the summer on a Tuesday or whatever, they'd be like, "Oh, scandalous. Like, how dare you judge me? Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
I don't care.
Like
You made
you
a hot
took
dad.
out of your
It's all good."
yeah. Like, oh yeah, I was working 80 hours a week and I took like 8 hours off, so I was still working 72.
Yeah. I only worked
Like that's
72
a
hours
lot
this
of
week.
hours
Are
to
you
work.
going to be okay? Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're probably gonna
Oh,
fail at
also,
everything if you would take 8 hours off. I'm just kidding.
also, you're not paying me for those 8 hours. I'm not getting paid
Yeah.
hourly or salary here. Like it's my time. I just, this was more important to me than making money off of units, dude. So,
Yeah. And
get over
also,
it.
I think like when you're feeling good, people just pick up on that vibe and just want some of it and they want to buy from you. So when you're like, when you get off of a nice date at the movie and the next day you're like, oh, I'm feeling good. My hormones are balanced because I just, had an interaction with a woman. I'm feeling good. And people probably just want some of that and they just want to buy more from you.
You
So I
got
feel
that
like it's
shine.
ultimately beneficial. Yeah, you have this like glow that people they just like want to be a part of it.
I did sell a lot of books that next day. I did sell a lot of it because of
Exactly.
guilt,
Makes it up.
which is not healthy, but also because of the glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm with you. I'm with you
The
for sure.
guilt.
I think you're
Yeah.
on it. Well, because you feel bad. You're like, I gotta go work hard now to make up for the 8 hours I took off the work day or whatever. You're like, hey,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah. I feel
It's
that.
fine. You also gotta stop. Like sometimes I would stop. Like off schedule doesn't necessarily mean I did something terrible, which I never did anything terrible. But like something like way off schedule. I'm just saying like sometimes I would drive and like I sold in New England, and New England is a really unique place because it's one of the oldest part of the country, right? Like that's where the country started. Like when they
Mhm.
arrived and they started building shit like Philly, Boston, New York, right? That's like the oldest parts of the United States. I mean, I guess technically St. Augustine is the oldest town in America, but you know what I'm saying. The point is
Mm.
that area has a lot of history, and so it's a lot of urban and a lot of development stuff. And it's not like the whole place is a concrete place, but every once in a while you'd drive through a place and it would be completely untouched, and you would like, and it's kind of hilly because of the Appalachian Mountains. So you would like, I don't know, you'd turn and all of a sudden you would see this amazing landscape. And you're like, you know what? Oh, fuck this. I'm going to pull over for just a second, 10, 15 minutes. I'm just going to enjoy like what I'm witnessing here. And it was beautiful. And no
Wow.
cars would drive through because you were in this middle of nowhere road with no service. You wouldn't get on your phone either. You were just chilling. And it was so amazing. Like you would see these amazing landscapes, at least in my opinion, when I was in New England. And that sometimes I always get off schedule that way. It's just taking in the moment. And I look back at those moments and I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I did. You know how sad it would be to report to you right now that I was completely on schedule the whole fucking time and I never even looked up to look at the scenery of this
Yeah.
amazing place I was selling in? That'd be so sad.
That would be very sad. Yeah. That's so funny.
I don't know. I just think that's
not something I've heard. I've never heard a book person say that. Like, how sad is it to not enjoy the here and now?
Yeah.
That's not worrying about how much money you're making right now this second.
Right. And I'm not trying to judge people who worked hard. Good job. You guys completed your 84 hours a week every single week of the summer. I did that my first summer. Good job. Good. Go me. All right. Pat on my back. Good job. All right. High five. Cool. But then also my third summer, I ate some amazing wings at this really cool restaurant in whatever. And my fourth summer, I drank some really good beer in this other restaurant in whatever. And yeah, like it was so cool. Like I experienced the place I was in besides going to, the Sunday meeting where we would go to that one spot. Like that was a lot. No, I enjoyed where I was at and I met people. And sometimes I would sometimes I'd be out schedule by hanging out with families extra long, My third summer, I have a picture of this. I sent it into the company. I should show this. It's a really cool picture, actually. I'm going to go find this. But basically, Amy, I'm going to send this to you and then I see if you can put it up somewhere. I can find this while I'm talking to you. But it was my third summer was 2014, which was the summer of the World Cup. And I have a lot of off-schedule stories about going to watch World Cup games. But this is a really cool one. This family owned like a horse farm, and they were like they bought books. And the family was like, "Hey, do you want to go horseback riding?" And I'm in Pennsylvania. And I was like, "Yeah, why would I say no to that?" I'm like, you know what? I should probably get to the next house, but yeah, because this is gonna be a cool story. They gave me a full horseback riding experience, and they like I got on a horse. I was like, they gave me the autonomy to ride it. It was like my first time like really being free. It wasn't like there was someone was walking and the horse was just following the horse in front of them. It was just like I was actually like free with myself and a horse in the middle of like the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania. And I'm like, this is
That's
so cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if someone's gonna judge me and if my brother listens to this and is sad about it or he doesn't want to show his first years, fuck it. Their loss.
Is he still selling?
He's a DSM. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah. You're like, haha, look what I'm doing.
I'm
You
Mr.
can still
M.
sell. Yeah. That's
but
funny.
it's great. So here, I've told you 2 off-schedule stories. Oh, here we go. Here's the
Okay.
picture. You got to tell us one more off-schedule story, and then we'll go to the ponytails.
Me. Okay. I'll think of one.
Hold on. Here we go. Boom.
Let's see.
Look at that.
Okay, let's see.
That's me.
Looks like you're in the air.
Yeah, I was
Is that
doing
you?
I was doing a bicycle kick. Can you zoom in a little bit there
Oh.
on that?
So you play football.
Yes, that's right. Thank you for saying that.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
look at that. They had bought the books, and I was like, it was the World Cup. It was the first day of the World Cup, and I threw the ball in the air. And that's actual soccer ball. The girls played soccer, and I was like, "Ooh, I got an idea. I can do this like bicycle kick is what this is called." And the mom just like caught it. First take, boom.
How the hell? That's impressive. That's a really good photo. Like
Isn't it fun?
I mean, they even have books. You're like, it's so on brand. I don't know. It's just funny. Like, as someone who does branding, this is a fucking fantastic photo because
I mean, it's overexposed because of the filters. But yes, this is great from the
I don't even care. Me, editing is tricky, so I don't care what people do with editing. To be honest with you, I really don't. But it's really cool to me, the content when people can create just like genius content. I'm very impressed.
It was fun. It was a good time.
This is genius.
Anyway, thank you. Now it's your turn for an off-schedule story, and then we'll go into the ponytails.
Okay, give me 30 seconds. I'm gonna raise the ISO on my camera because it's obviously becoming
Oh, it's getting
night
dark.
now.
Okay,
It's
so let me
30
do some
seconds.
shout outs really quick. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'll go do a quick shout out over here with our friends of the show. More advice for you entrepreneurs listening on to the show. Big shout out to EnLight.Energy, and they want to share some good news about their industry. If you guys are looking to go into solar, solar has been kind of under attack, been under some kind of attack or another in markets across the United States for decades. But the movement is still going strong, and there have been more solar sold this year than in the last 20 years combined. So you can join Julio over at EnLight.Energy. Alex Black is also part of that team. They are doing great. If you guys want to learn more information about how to do that, let us know. Get you in touch with them. And then, of course, big shout out to VDisain. You guys can go check out our website. VDisain designed our website, and you guys can go check it out at theponytailspodcast.com. If you guys want to learn more about how to get them hired for your company, let us know. And then last but not least, Cardinal Senior Benefits. When they started work with us a few months ago, they had 27 people in their agency. Now they have 31 plus, and they have a bunch more people in the pipeline that have come through us. So that's super exciting for them. Again, I said this before, but they are averaging about 31 to 34 hours a week of work, and their top performers have been grossing about 12 to 15,000 per week. So that's not bad. We mentioned this before. They're on growth mode. They're looking to double again in 2022. So if you want to find out why so many people are going to go work at Cardinal, reach out to us. We'll get you more in touch, more information, more details with them. So now it's time for an off-schedule story, which could be a ponytail. So let's just do the ponytails now. So one of them needs to be an off-schedule story, and then I want to hear some of your favorite stories from the book field or from after the book field, but whatever. Some of the crazier, funnier, great, most inspirational, whatever you got. Mike is yours. As many stories as you wish to tell. Go ahead, Joe.
Wow. Okay. I'm trying to think. So off schedule stories.
It's hard to top. It's hard to top making out with a dad, but you know.
Yeah, I know. The best experience I've ever had in my life. I'm just kidding. That's not true. I have a boyfriend now. Nothing compares to my boyfriend and the wonderful experience I've had with him. Nothing really.
No offense. What's your boyfriend's name?
Nino.
Nino. No offense to you,
Nino
sir.
Benvenuto Aldi.
There you go. Good job, sir. Cheers to you. But also, you know.
Thank you.
You know, hot dads in the book field. That's pretty good.
I know. He's a dad, though, my boyfriend. He's a dad.
There you go. So he's a hot dad.
I have a type. He's a hot dad. Yeah. It's awesome. He's a very, very hot dad. Yeah. So he's the one I'm doing the course with. So, yeah. He's a movie director, actually.
Go Nino.
Yeah. So he worked. I know. He worked on The Voice for 10 years as a field producer.
Tell him I have a script for him.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great. You have a script?
No,
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I'm working on writing a script for this, actually. Nobody knows that. You're the first person I've told.
Do you know how much
my wife knows
the production would cost to make?
No. It would not be cheap, though. There's explosions and shit that need to happen.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I just worked on a movie, and this is a tangent, but I worked on a movie as a unit still photographer because my boyfriend was directing the movie, and he got me a job on that movie, which is amazing. And there was an explosion. Like I should show you like my business Instagram because you'll see the behind the scenes of the explosion, because the movie is a drama about basically a veteran, but a young man going to Iraq and then his experiences in the war and then coming back from the war. And so that's why there was explosions in the movie.
Interesting.
But yeah, so explosions, it was cool. It was mostly just like it was like, I don't know what it was, but it was mostly just, I think it was like just smoke. Psh, smoke, like, it's cool, like, working on a movie because you see all the crazy, behind the scenes stuff. You're like, oh, wow, like, that explosion was actually, like, way more simple than I thought it was going to be, Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know.
No, I feel you.
Yeah.
This would take some travel. You'd have to hire a couple actors. But it's hard to turn a book into a transcript, like a movie script, but like a screenplay. But
so you have a book?
Yeah, this is my book.
Oh, okay. Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you're turning that into a screenplay. That's cool.
Very slowly.
Making a movie.
Very slowly. I started putting together the notes.
Yeah. If you have a few $1 million, anybody can make a movie.
You know, you know. Darn it!
Yeah.
I should have
So
thought of that. I should have thought of that.
if we just raise a few $1 million, I mean, I don't know. I obviously the script's not made yet. I haven't read it. I don't know, but you know, you could, if you have the right camera, the right glass, the right director, the right, you know, director of photography, you hire, in my opinion, I think if you're going to make a movie, you have to find a name because the name's going to sell the movie. So if you have like, I don't know, John Travolta or whatever, obviously everyone knows him. So that movie's going to sell.
Right.
Anyway, so
But it's
we don't need to talk
expensive
about.
to hire John. Plus, he's not brown. He can't play my dad.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll have to find another brown person.
We'll have to find a brown man that can play my father.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
And
no,
little
like, you don't
Andre.
even
Somebody's
need
got
to,
to
like,
play little Andres. Andresito.
Andresito.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, this is a way tangent. Sorry. Go back
I
to
know,
your
I'm
ponytails.
sorry.
You can tell
But
whatever Tony. It doesn't have to be an
my
off
boyfriend's a
schedule story,
dad.
but boyfriend's a dad. Go back to that. Good job. So you're into hot dads. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Joe has
Yeah.
a type.
Sorry. I have a
Go
type.
Joe.
It's hot dads. And my off schedule story. Gosh, why do I not have one right now?
If you don't have one, it's okay. We go to a different kind of story.
Yeah, what's the different kind of story?
I mean, you got Sizzler stories. You got big customer stories. You got, think of like if you go back your favorite story from the book field. We'll do that. We'll do that as the ponytail, and then we'll wrap this up. So think about like if you go back, you think of your Southwestern experience, either a really cool mom, a really cool. I mean, we already know about the really cool dad. If we think about a really cool customer, if we're talking about like something crazy that happened at Sizzler, could be.
Mm-hmm.
To be your favorite when you think back on it. I'm like, this was my favorite. The one time I pranked Dan Moore. I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah, I had one experience that was kind of negative, but it's the one I really remember. Yeah.
Sure.
So
It doesn't have to be
basically,
negative. It can be positive. But let's hear this one though. I'm game for
well,
this.
this is the one I can remember. So basically, okay, I deeply internalize things people tell me. If someone tells me to do something, I'll do it. I'm not always going to do it the right way, but if you tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. I mean, if
Fair enough.
in a
You're
coaching
coachable.
situation. So, yeah, like my sister was like, you need to find a way to have fun. Like on a Saturday night, go have fun, do something fun, and with your roommates. The second summer, I'm like, okay, fine, I'll go find a way to have fun, like do something exciting. So I went. Me and my roommate, which was I only had one roommate, and she was the first year at the time. She's amazing. Her name's Cameron, and we went to a bar, and
Yeah.
it makes sense now. Like I full time do, social media. So of course, like when I was at this bar, there was live music and it's fun. And we didn't drink or anything. We just like honestly we were just kind of looking for dinner, and then we found this bar, and we went in, and then I like had a video, like I had her the first year just like take a video of me dancing because I'm an amazing dancer, and just needed some evidence. So I could prove that to people when they challenged me on my dancing skills. So, anyways, I did what I was told to do. Go have fun on a Saturday night with your roommates, which I did. And then
Coachable.
I post like, yeah, I'm very coachable. And then because Matt Ross is my DSM, and I sent this in like the leaders group chat. I don't know. We had like this like greeter or this leaders like boxer or something, and I posted me dancing, having fun on there. And then he was like, "You're not even close to Sizzler. You shouldn't be doing that." Or I don't know what he said. I mean, I was close. I made Sizzler, but he got so mad at me and then made me feel bad about it during deliveries. I mean, I didn't really care. I'm like, whatever. Of course he's gonna make fun of me. I mean, it's a good opportunity to make fun of me. But yeah, it was kind of a negative experience because I thought I was doing what I was supposed to do, but then I took it too far, and then I got some like my sister was like, you're supposed to keep that secret. You're not supposed to tell anybody you have fun. Just do it. So yeah,
I love
I
your
took it
sister.
too far,
Your sister's
and
so
they got in
funny.
trouble. Like she didn't. She still. I love my sister because she'll be really helpful, and then she'll like just there'll be a piece missing that is very important that I need to know, and she doesn't give it to me, so I'll be left hanging and looking like an idiot later.
Hey, you look
That's
great
why I
now.
love her.
I think it's great that you went and had fun and you danced at the wedding. It was a good time dancing. It was all good. You
No,
get all the
yeah.
moves out.
I
That's
saw
right.
your dance moves. You love dance. Yeah.
I love dancing. You know what? A dancing story of a bar on a Saturday night. That is a good way to end this one right here. That is a good way to wrap up with this ponytail of like, hey, I let loose on a Saturday night.
Yeah, for like 5 minutes, I went into a bar and let loose, and then I went back and was a good, disciplined,
Sammy
fully
Southwestern.
commissioned worker. Sally
Good job.
Southwestern, yeah.
You went back to the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh,
Hell.
but I remember too, that's when I met my ex-husband, was the second summer. Kind of. So he was it was his fourth summer. Yeah, I know. We're getting into I'm gonna spill the tea.
Oh, this is the tea? Hold on, everybody.
This is the
We're
tea.
not done here. This is the tea? Oh, shit.
No. So if there were any reason I was not Sally Southwestern my second summer is because of my ex-husband. We just talk to each other every night. And I neglected my roommate, and I should have been hanging out with her. And I like decided to talk on the phone with my man. That wasn't my man at the time, but eventually was. And then eventually not my man.
Hey, we've all had those. We've all had
Yeah,
men that weren't
but
our men.
Right. But it was funny because I remember one of my, I think it's an OL or leaders. Yeah, they're like, "Are you sure you want to be talking to this guy? He doesn't sell a lot of books."
Oh shit!
I know,
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
like,
your OL threw units at you for a reason not to like someone. What a fuck! No offense. I'm sure they're
yeah.
good people. I'm sure they're a good person, but come on, that's literally giving value to a person by their units.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
And then people are like, why don't people like Southwestern symptoms? That's why. Jesus. Well,
right.
you know what? We needed an episode like this. So that's what happened. So your second summer, that's why you left books, because you had met a man.
And then I got
He wasn't a
married on a
he wasn't a
glacier in Alaska. Oh.
Oh my gosh, I know who your husband is, of course.
Finally, after 2 hours? Good.
I was trying to, I thought I knew who it was, and then you said that. I'm like, oh, I know who this is. I was supposed to go to your wedding. I couldn't make it. Flights were fucking expensive out of Alaska.
I know, yeah. Flagstaff.
You guys did send me an invite.
Oh yeah. So basically, we had a reception we had the ceremony on a glacier in Alaska, and then we had a reception in Flagstaff, which is still very expensive.
No, I remember it was hard to get to your guys' wedding, and he called me, and he was like, "Bro, can you make it?" I'm like, "Ah, shit." Yeah, I met your ex-husband, excuse me, in New Orleans.
That's where I met him.
Yeah, at that GRS too. Dang.
I went to GRS too. That's where we connected. I met him my first summer, and I didn't realize, because he was like, I was like the mom, and he was selling me books. It was training, it was sales school, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's so hot, and like very into this vibe. Well, yeah, I think it was like what I was attracted to was his like aura, his confidence. I don't know. It was like, yeah, I mean, I don't think he was bad looking, but I think what I was most attracted to was like, I don't know, just like this confidence. It's like,
yeah, I understand. Fair enough. Yeah. Sometimes people have a vibe, and you're like, I'm fucking with this. This is great. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, that's what I was into.
So that's what happened. Sure. Oh man, and then that's why you stopped selling books.
Yeah, because we ended up getting married. But
Damn.
That's okay.
And then, but hey, look, you're here. You've learned. We're coming full circle here. We're coming full circle here because you learned. You learned about yourself. You're knowing yourself better. You're doing great now. It's been a year since it all ended, and now, you know, you're like
Yeah, I'm thriving. I'm
a
literally
new
I've never
person.
had the best this last year was the most incredible year I've ever had in my whole life. So that's been amazing. Like I traveled a bunch. I got to go see my sister. I met a man that loves me.
You have a nephew
A niece. Now I have a niece.
or a
Yeah.
niece. Excuse me. Yeah, I have a nephew. Sorry, I'm. People are having babies all the time. I'm like, who has who? That's right. You have a niece. It's so exciting. I met your
I have a
niece. I met
niece
your niece
now.
in Nashville.
That's amazing. That makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
because your
We live
sister
in
came up to
Tennessee.
Nashville to yeah. Your sister came up to came out to the party that we had in Nashville at Lee McCroskey's house. But anyway, damn, this episode was full of juice.
This
Full
is
of
the
all juice.
tea. Yeah, you'd be
I had
like,
juice.
Joe
I had
spilled
orange
the
juice,
tea on
but
her
the episode had
divorce.
all the. We had gin and juice. If this episode had a name, it'd be called Gin and Juice because
And
we had the
juice.
gin and you brought the juice, baby. That
Exactly. It'll be JUSE juice. I'm just kidding.
juice or
Like just to
juice.
mix it up. Like this isn't normal juice. This is
This
the
is the
juice you need to
juice.
pay
We should
attention to.
note to put this in the description, Amy. Just put juice. The
Just
juice.
put
Gin and juice.
maybe with a JUZZZZZ. I don't know.
That's
Juice.
aggressively close to other words with J's and Z's. But
Yeah,
sure.
we don't want to confuse people.
Yeah. That's yikes. So on
Yeah.
that note, on
This
that
is
thought,
the jizz episode. I'm just kidding.
that
This is the
that
gin and jizz.
I know what I'm gonna do with that soundbite. I know exactly what I'm gonna do with that. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
trailer for this episode that we might make and be like, whoa, what the hell are we talking about here? Hot dads, gin and juice, and
Oh yeah, that should be. Oh my gosh, if you could market this in any way, I hope it would be hot dads and gin and jizz, or juice, whatever.
gin and J-U-Z-Z. There you go. Honestly,
JUZZZZ.
it had been a while since we had this kind of episode. Like the last time we had something like this, I think was Naomi James, where we were like, whoa, we're on the wild deep end over here. And people like these kinds of episodes. Because sometimes we have like I met Jesus, which is great. A lot of people meet Jesus. I met Jesus in the book field. All good. But sometimes you need like I did Coke and Sizzler. Like, oh, whoa. That wasn't me, for the record. But
Yeah.
we've had those kinds of stories on here. Like, all right, this is a whole spectrum. We need a little bit of all of them. So I'm glad you were here. Man, thank you so much for being on the show with us, Joe. You guys, I hope you enjoy this one. We had 2 pleasant hours of time with our wonderful guest, Jessica Olas, or as we now affectionately call her, Joe. J-O-Z-Z, Joe's. Maybe we should call it. If you guys want to get a hold, J-O-Z-Z. If you guys want to get a hold of Joe, you can go to her Instagram. It's at peanutbutter.joe. And you can go find her there. If you want to learn a little bit more about the courses that she's creating, her Etsy products, or kind of pick her brain about some digital marketing stuff, hell, I'm sure she's open to it. If she's not, she'll tell you no. You know, she's a grown woman. She's learned.
Yeah.
And she's awesome. So enjoy that. Make sure you guys.
I'm just kidding.
How to pick the right hot dad. You know what? That's right. That's right. Maybe you should have an episode of Hot Dads, and you're the host. I'm just kidding.
Let's do it. I'm down.
be
That
great.
should be it's its own podcast. Hot
A
Dads.
theme, just
How to pick
Hot
the right hot
Dads, the
dad.
Hot Dads podcast, hosted by Joe. Awesome.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
guys.
wanna
Well,
do
thank you
that.
so much. This has been, you know what? If you want to learn how to make a podcast, we have that too. Let me know. We could reach out. We're starting to roll out that. This is a teaser for this, but we're just starting to roll out a way for people who don't have the time to do all the intricacies and just trust our knowledge, but have the content. We can help you out, do your own podcast. So maybe that's something we need to talk about too, Joe. On that note, thank you so much, everybody. My name is Andres Gamboa. I am the host, the luckiest man in the building, and a proud bookman who has been sharing some awesome stories with Jessica Olas. Joe, episode 152. We're getting closer to our season 6 finale with Ron Alford. Make sure you guys keep in touch with that. Guys, subscribe. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, follow us, like us, leave us a review. Come on. It's all you can do. You're taking a shit, just go to your phone, stop looking at Instagram, or while you're there, go find us, theponytailspodcast.com. Give us a follow. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye, everybody.